Good evening, chat. Lovely to run into you here. Uh, yeah, we're back. We're back. I'm so excited. I was so bummed to have to effectively poop on last week's session. That was my fault. I'm so sorry. But glad to be here this week and continue our our fun on Simhazy Isles. This is going to be interesting, and fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I've got my little light set to blue here and some rain music in the background. I'm sorry I can't share it out with players yet. I'm working on setting up a Spotify to go through Discord the way Vic does. But for tonight, it's just our chat that can hear the rainy sounds. But it is pouring rain in Simhazy Isles. Last session, we had, a fair bit go on. A lot of interpersonal communications. There was a ritual for Zia that Vic helped her with. There was training. Breelith updating her benefactor on latest news and such. Ashavar working and breaking down her studies and etchings from that door at the bottom of the elevator, working on that. A lot of care. How did I forget this? A lot of care for a precious little egg. Yeah, Breelith, didn't something happen with the egg? Because I don't know what on the timeline of things. I don't want to spoil something by being like, this happened, right?
No. She did hear a scratching sound from inside the egg.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Like right before they started seeing, like she was out on the deck and started seeing the land and stuff. So
awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Pixie.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Yep. And it was 6 weeks in the high skies. Navigating out here, and pirates were updated that this is that big storm kind of knocked them off course a bit, and that they're headed down here, and they have pulled up to Simhazy Isles, and I will quickly or hopefully quickly here share that map out in a moment. Oh, no, I can share it now because I have most of it set up. Neat. I'll fix nameplates in a minute. But this here, for viewers, is our Simhazy Isles. As you can see there, it's broken into a number of sections, which you may or may not learn a little more about. But visibly, upon visual inspection, you see that half sphere at the bottom, rotating, separate from everything else in place. It all sits just maybe a few hundred feet above the heavy, thick miasma that covers everything here. That is the bottomless ocean of cloud and doom. The ports are in this four-way sort of cross-section island that floats just above that. Some buildings here, residential and otherwise, as well as the actual piers to dock on. Another section up top that seems to be where these waterfalls and such originate. Some residential, maybe some academic buildings upon first glance. And then up in the clouds, mostly obscured, you see some other buildings that look... They speak of nobility or someone with some wealth, or they're a bit finer in their construction and decoration. But for now, there is a heavy pouring rain wrapping the boards of the Tempest as you arrive. You're pulled into dock. And there was a tiefling, tiefling woman, light purple skin, stands maybe 5'8" or so, wings tucked in behind her back. Coal black hair and some through the rain with a soft glow. You see some rose gold eyes. They don't have pupils because she's a tiefling, but they have a soft glow to them. She's draped in clothes that look rather comfortable for a caster, perhaps. And they're full of varying shades of blue and white, but getting fairly drenched out here. Oh, right, you can see how ripped she was too, because they're sleeveless, of course, because even though the sun's not out, her guns are out. She's not, built, but she's very. You can see that she hits the gym, and she came up and, whew, well, pulls her hair back. I haven't seen anyone dock here in quite some time. Y'all toss your ropes down. I'll get you set right up, and we'll start from here. Whew.
She seems mighty.
All right, everybody, let's get those ropes down.
Sounds good.
Let's get docked up.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Yep.
see if we can find the ship master. Is that what it called last time? We had to check in.
Oh, harbor master.
Harbor master.
Harbor.
There we go.
Catches a rope from Zia. Starts mooring you with at least a couple. All right, let's go now. Get that gangplank down. We'll get you finished off here. Your crew can take care of the rest. I got some other things to tend to. And she'll, wait for the gangplank.
Thank you.
I
Right,
will
right.
try to help take the put the game plank down.
What was
The
that?
Vic probably would too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Cassius would be helping as well, just to move it along as well.
Nice.
It's too heavy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Whew. All right, let's now come on down. Get out of that rain. Let's go. Whoever's coming in, come in. I'll show you inside.
Liaison and Cassius, do we think some people should remain on this ship?
Someone should because there are things still on the ship.
Right.
I
There's
think we
something
should.
very
I think we
important
should
on the
all
ship.
go. Yeah, I think we should all go, and we just leave the rest of the crew here for now.
Okay.
Do you think we have to go through the same thing we did over in Atmos Isles?
It's possible.
Harbor?
It's
Yeah, better we just do it legit.
well, we talked. So we kind of know that if we drop some names of certain pirate people, that we should be chill.
I think.
Right.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Oh.
Yeah, let's do that.
The Admiral
Yeah.
Ruth.
Yeah. They said just say the admiral's name and the
That totally
island's
works.
your game, or something like that.
Okay, Ashavar, all you have to do is be totally chill. They're gonna walk you through this truth zone. You just tell them your name, and they give you a little stamping stamp. It wouldn't hurt to mention me, Sinister, because I'm a celebrity. But just don't lie, and just be chill. Don't be antsy, and everything takes care of itself. Right, guys.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
In short, Ashrava, just be normal. Be as normal as you can.
Just be normal.
Be chill.
Don't talk to whatever. I'm not gonna say. I don't remember of your. Just don't mention that.
Don't mention
Basically,
anything.
don't divulge anything you don't need to.
Anything. Yeah. Don't say anything. Just nod.
Don't say anything, but also say everything that's true.
Yes.
But
There we go.
also don't.
Good
That's
point,
actually
yeah.
really good explanations. Yeah.
Yep.
Just follow
muted.
Liazana. Liazana.
Yeah, Liazana's really
She
good
didn't
at
say
this.
anything and got through.
You're
fine.
muted, Sarah. If you're saying anything.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry about that. I was just like, as far as looking back and forth, just like I wasn't nervous before, but now I am.
It'll be fine. It'll be good.
It'll be fine.
You'll be good. Yes.
So Zia's gonna have a little kind of heartfelt, okay, Vic, you're gonna have to stay.
Right.
Turn around and head out.
I'll keep a careful eye on our cargo.
Yes. Yes. Please keep an eye on the cargo, Vic. Make sure that it's safe. Make sure that that the cargo that we have in that one room doesn't leave the room.
Aye.
Unless you need to remove the cargo, if the ship's on fire.
I'll keep.
Please
careful
remove
eye
the
on
cargo if the ship's
you.
on fire, as well as
Please
yourself.
don't set the ship on fire.
The ship will not be set on fire.
You never know.
Fire's not good.
I don't think Vic's gonna set fire to the ship, you guys. I think
The
we
more
can,
that we're talking about this, I feel like we're
I think you're
bringing it on.
you're accepting it now. Just don't even. Yeah, don't even.
Tonight to the
Sinister's
stream
gonna be
myself.
real quick. Sinister's gonna be like, real quick, I'll be right back. I gotta grab something from my room. And then he's gonna go and play a little ditty on the thing. Be careful, little dude. And
Nice.
keep rocking out. You know.
Going down the gangplank.
It's not quite the inspiration, but whatever story-wise.
Oh, okay. I like
Cassius will kind of like sashay up to Zia and whisper, "You don't gotta talk to him like he's a dog."
Did you just
I saw
sashay over?
Yeah, like very like sneakily, like, hey, like
Someone's sashaying me.
No, sashaying
Nice.
is not sneakily.
But yeah,
oh
I
wait,
was
it's not
into
sneakily.
it.
He'll sneakily
That's like
talk to
putting
Zia
your
and be like,
hips
you know,
into it.
can I do a
Cassius.
sneaky sashay? Can I do that?
Cassius,
Go
I
for it.
appreciate- Cassius,
That's a stealth roll with
You don't have to talk to
disadvantage.
him like he's a dog. Yeah.
I appreciate what you're saying, but I think I know Vic a little bit better than you do.
Oh.
But you're talking to him like a dog.
Oh.
Oh, he'll
Should go.
Vic will be like, we just understand one another. That's all. This
Oh,
is-
is Cassius trying
I
to say
didn't know
this
Vic
on
was
her?
still there.
He's trying to say this on her.
damn! He's
He
like
did not want to say that in
halfway.
front of Vic.
I thought Vic went down the chute.
Me too.
He's far enough away. We will. It's kind of hard to hear, but.
Like, Zia, please.
So let's get out of the rain.
Yeah.
Well, come on down. I'm heading inside. If you're coming with me, you better come on down.
Liazana's heading out. Heading off the ship.
Beautiful
And,
Liasana.
Sinister's gonna pop up his umbrella and kind of like
Nice.
realize everybody pretty much is taller than him. Like he's about 5'8", I guess. He's
Okay.
5'8", 5'9", so
Nice.
he's like,
Yeah, Ashavar's actually shorter than him. So.
Oh.
oh, okay. So then he's gonna pop it over Ashavar, like
Aw.
stand beside him.
Oh. All right, you'll make your way down the gangplank onto the pier, and this woman leads you into the city a little bit. The city, again, looks very abandoned. You don't see a single soul in sight. There seems to have been some chaos at one point, as there are some parts of buildings that are damaged a little bit, and some goods that would typically not be strewn across the street. You find them strewn across the street. An umbrella here, a single shoe over there, some crates, some packs, and a bunch of other things. Chairs knocked over on their sides in the streets. Now you all watch your step, y'all, all right?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Right.
I didn't catch your name.
Oh,
I'm Sinister Galore.
it's a pleasure, Sinister. Wait, I always like to do a roll just to see if they've
Yeah.
heard of you in your time here. My name is Ash.
Ash?
Indeed, that's right.
Well, Ash, is it normally in disrepair? Did something happen recently?
Oh, right. No, normally it's fine. There was just something terrible that happened recently. But let's get out of the rain first. I'll tell you all about it if you wish.
Could you lead us to the harbor master?
Is he still?
Oh, I'm sorry. No. There's harbor master ain't here anymore. No, there's really no one here. Just a few of us left.
Oh, that's fantastic. So we can just walk in.
Just
Right?
Oh, all right. This is great.
I mean, I'd be a little careful if you're heading into the city, but right. Yeah.
What do you? Is there any inns around or a tavern that we could probably possibly rest up in? Or
Well,
what was
there
the
are-
terrible thing?
Well, let's get out of this weather. And she kind of holds up her cloak over her head, or one of her wings she puts up over her head. And I'll tell you all about
Put
it.
the umbrella a little closer.
Oh, nice. Oh, thank you. Oh, I appreciate that. Very kind of you.
You're welcome.
And all right, and it's just like one of the first buildings on the right. She's going to walk around and get you set up in. And inside is empty, of course. This appears to be maybe what was a building related to harbor master duties. At least looks like a town hall almost. Has a couple counters and some bookshelves in the back. It looks like very administrative setting. But things are knocked about and also kind of strewn about here on the floor. Different books, and one of the bookcases is knocked over, and a couple chairs are tipped. You see a little blood here. Things you've seen in the street too. Whew! All right, that rain's really coming down. Right, so I'm sorry. Right, my name is Ash, as I said. You have arrived, whether intentionally or otherwise, at the Simhazy Isles. Harbor Master, no. Taverns, yes. Most of them are like this. I mean, really, you just go and sleep wherever you want. There's really no one else left.
There's no one else left?
There's a couple of folks still milling about. There's no one else left here in the mill. That's this section of the city. This.
Why?
Oh, well, there was. Well, what do you know about Simhazy Isles? I don't want to, talk down to you if you already know something about us.
I'm new to these isles. I've never been this way.
All right.
What's with the blood and stuff?
Well, you may have noticed that we are mighty close to the Omega Sea down there, right? And we do research, of course, is what we're all about here. You found yourselves docked here to the mill, as it's called. It's a bit of a residential area, a bit of a nickname came up for it a while ago. Down below, you may have noticed that spinning half orb there. Now, that's the foundation. That's Esme's down there. She's busy at work. I used to think she was a bit paranoid about things, but after all that happened here, maybe she was just. I guess you're not paranoid if you're right. Right? But she's lovely and she's still kicking about. Up above us here, we have the Institute, and Zug's still up there. He kind of runs things for the most part. And then up, don't go. You may have seen the other buildings up in the clouds. It's an island. It's just obscured by heavy clouds due to whatever they're doing up there. I don't know. It's called the Celestial Plateau. We don't rightly see the folks up there, and they don't come down to see us. And they don't like visitors, so I'd advise against swinging up there.
Well.
Wait. How do you know that they don't like visitors if you don't go up there and they don't come down here?
Oh, some folks don't listen, and they'll take a little ship up there, or they'll try and fly or something, and then they'll usually just get shot down and drop into the clouds below.
Oh, so what you're saying is anyone that just goes in that general direction doesn't even make it.
That sounds lovely.
Okay.
Fine folks up there, I'm sure, but they fund our work here, so.
So you must have a way of contacting them.
I don't, but Zug does, I imagine. Zug gets the orders. Correct. Yes, Zug, a fine gentleman. Fine gentleman, runs things here. Was doing a fine job. Right, which brings us to what happened here. Now, we do a lot of studies, of course. It's a bit dangerous work. Everyone here gets what you might call hazard pay. Now, unfortunately, sometimes we encounter strange things down in them there clouds. Dangerous things. There's a bit of technology on that in the city here, down on the foundation, that kind of wards a lot of that away. Kind of makes us a bit invisible to anything living down there. However, there's a few projects going on. One of the other projects here in the city caused a bit of an issue with the with Foundation, and it ceased to work for, it was only about 6 minutes or so, but that was enough to let whatever's down there know we were probing around. We're in mid probe, I guess, lack of a term. And a bunch of creatures came on up here and just stole everyone away.
Oh,
Excuse
is
me.
that all?
Yeah. Well, Zug and Esme and I were down in the foundation there. We were trying to get things working right again, and so we were all spared. However, when we came back up, we saw some of the creatures. Kind of hard to describe them, really. But fresh out of a
Spiders.
nightmare. I can. I don't like spiders, but I can handle them compared to
either.
these. Whew.
So on our travels, we encountered devils. Were they devil like, or what were they more monstrosity like?
These things were. I tell you, it's hard to even keep the picture of them in my mind. Writhing, wriggling creatures, forms almost shaping a bit. Some humanoid, but mostly not. Some had little body parts that were just sticking out like half formed left and right. They crawled and moved in really creepy ways.
And they came out of the ground.
Oh, yeah, out of the clouds down there. That
The clouds.
right.
Okay, so it's safe to assume anyone they took is gone.
Yeah, I don't think that we're getting them back, unfortunately.
Yeah. Okay.
Or they were like turned into these things, right? Like they were pulled down, some sort of like.
Was there
Could
any
be.
parts of them that looked humanoid, like any of the weird parts? Like, did they have like a human hand, maybe a human foot sticking out?
Some of them had that. Yeah, not all of them. There was a whole array of different insect-like parts and some humanoid parts and just some other things just never seen.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah, so,
Were you able to kill any of them?
Oh no! By the time we got out there, it was an army of them. They just swarmed. They were creeping and crawling all over this whole place.
About how much could you gauge, from what you could tell?
Oh, at least a couple hundred, I'd say.
Oh shit. Okay.
200.
They weren't subterranean. They came out of the heavens.
Right. Yeah. Yep. That Omega Sea down below us there. Yep. Just, I mean, we know that there are creatures from an entirely different, or what our research has shown. It seems like they're from a different plane. There's some connection to some really dark, ancient plane that's down there. And they live mostly in the clouds, don't tend to pop out, protect ourselves, but that it's only about 6 minutes that went down. Oh, what a fright.
Ashavar like pat her on the wing and be like, "I'm so sorry that happened to you."
Yeah, I mean, I feel real bad for the folks down there, of course. That's an awful way to go. Feel a little guilty that that I'm still here when all them are not, but
No, survivor's guilt.
So you're saying that all these buildings around us are unattended and deserted.
empty. That's right. So you need a tavern or you need an inn. Well, this is about 3.5 days ago, so food might be suspect. Make sure you check it, but help yourself to whatever food, drink you come by. Beds.
So we could just walk right in and take what we want.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Cool.
look, I'm not gonna stop no one. I'm here to do my job, and I'm sure we'll get other folks in here.
Don't worry, we won't take too much of advantage of your hospitality. We appreciate it.
Sure.
No, there are a couple of things to aid us on our stay here.
That's a fine ship you got out there. Never seen such a ship.
Yeah, she's a beaut,
Oh, yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah. Now
That's,
I'm a bit of a shipwright by trade. I build ships and such. Before I came out here to work on engineering out here, that's what I did. I worked at the primary shipyard for all new ships, and I'll tell you that's look. I'll just be straight with y'all. I've seen some only one ship with a design like that before, and that's very
You
old
seen
ship.
another ship like this?
Oh yeah, well I worked on the gosh, it wouldn't be a prototype. The relic ship. There's one that we base everything that we build today on. Now we only have a couple parts of it. It's not a working ship, but it's ancient. And that's how we have airships today. Past several hundred years have all been based off of those. I worked firsthand.
How long do you have duties for here? Like, when is your day over?
Well, I have to say that my my schedule's become slightly more open, and as of late,
I can imagine.
I believe that.
I mean, I'm in charge of maintenance, repairs, and such. Hence why I was called down as foundation. I don't think there's going to be much need for anything here for quite some time until they get folks back.
Not to be too forward, but would you like to see the inside of the ship?
Oh goodness.
Really?
Yeah,
I would love that.
Maybe take a little poke around in there. I learned a couple of things in there.
You
Like
did?
I learned how to work it a little bit.
That's
But
so interesting.
Wisp, our engineer, knows a lot more than I do.
Oh, all right. I'd
But-
love to. I'd love to.
But it seems as though like, and Cassius will kind of look around at the dismay. It's like, it doesn't look like you have much going on here.
No.
So,
Nope.
I mean, if you wouldn't mind just taking a look at it, we kind of have a problem in downstairs.
All right.
And is that the hall?
Effectively, yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Mhm.
Down in the hall,
All right.
we're having a little bit of trouble.
Sure.
And
Take a look.
Sinister is going to say, "You're infertile. You're in for a treat."
Oh,
Cassius,
nice.
Cassius would have understood that.
Oh, that's so cool. She'll kind of look at Sinister and
Yes.
all
Yeah.
right.
And he's going to do finger guns.
Nice.
Get ready for some weirdness. Wink.
Awesome. Well, I'll be happy to take a look, but would you like, you know what, I'll go take a look. You all figure out where you want to rest and reside. There was a tavern just around the corner, 3 buildings down, on your right. And then I guess I'll come back here when I'm done. This is where I've been set up. So if you want to, you can tell me more about what you're looking for, and I can.
Do you need an introduction to the crew?
Yeah, that might be good, if that's all right.
If anything, I can take you up there. We can get you introduced to everybody.
Okay.
See if you can get down there and check a couple things out. I'll
right.
have you link up with our engineer Wisp, if anything.
Wonderful. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of that ancient ship, and I'll be straight with you. I'm seeing a lot of that in your ship here. Never seen anything intact. I'm so curious.
So this is like the ship that you guys based everything off of, but functioning. Is that
Right. We just have bits and pieces of what seem to be a couple of different ships from this time frame, but only little bits and pieces. A single arcane engine, and right, not much. But to see what I mean, at my best guess, it looks like a full functioning proper ship from that time.
She's been keeping us going this long.
That's
So-
wonderful.
Any of your expertise and understanding would be gratefully helpful to us.
Y'all too kind. Now you let me know what I can do for you. If you're here for anything, I can get you in touch with Zug or Esme.
Please, can we get in touch with him?
Sure. Can I tell him what it's regarding? What is it you're here for? Maybe I can help you too.
Potentially, and Cassius will look up at like the Celestial Island.
Yeah.
We need potential passage up there.
Whoa.
Hard, right?
That's
Anyone? Yep.
that'd be difficult.
Zia, would you agree with that? Based on past events?
So I definitely think that will be safe to stay down here and rest a bit, see what we can find supply-wise. I think we do
need
have...
information. The Institute.
Yes, but I definitely want to make sure that, well, you said, Ash, the only other 2 people who are down on this level and the level right above us are Zug and Esme. Or
That's
Esme,
it.
right?
That's
okay.
all.
So I think we shouldn't have anything to worry about on these 2 levels. So I think you're absolutely right, Cassius. But I think you said also that Zug had communicated through funding with the people up top, correct?
Oh, right. They pay for all our research. So.
Yeah.
Was it
So
just through funding?
Well, I don't know. Zug gets the basically we get not missions, but tasks to complete, and then it's up to us to see how best to go about it. We were currently, we're always doing research down there. We have a bit of a project that got interrupted mid-work. We've discovered another little island section nearby, and we're looking to anchor it and pull it, basically tow it on over here. These weren't original islands put together. We've put them together and managed to sync them all up together through some arcane means. And we were instructed to corral that other island and bring it on over.
So that fancy portion right up there, that you brought that up.
Right, well, the only thing that was here initially is the celestial plateau up there. Everything else has been the foundation was created, and but the mill was an island that was put together and affixed, and the institute as well was just another island we brought over and locked into place.
So I have one small question.
Sure.
Would you happen to know why it's called the Celestial Plateau?
No idea. Just figured there were probably some hoity-toity folk up there. Felt that they were all above us all or something.
Yeah, I get that. Can we have a team huddle real quick?
Yeah, for sure.
I've got some stuff to do around in a couple buildings down. I'll be back in about 10 minutes or so.
Whenever you get back, I'll just we can all take you up to the ship and introduce you to the crew before we go into the city, if anything.
I love that. All right, thank you. She'll put her wing up as she steps outside, and off she goes.
Hi.
Take care, and infertile.
Oh, nice. Blah, 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 blah. She says, thank you very much, you too.
Blah, 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 blah.
It's really interesting.
Yeah, for sure. We've definitely been bombarded now with a lot of new information. And I would like to leave, obviously, this up to a democratic vote, but I think probably spending the night gathering resources or whatever we can here, then heading up, talking to Zug, seeing maybe he knows, and trying to piece together if it's even possible to get up there. We definitely don't want to sacrifice our ship.
No.
I honestly think that our threat is right here, that whatever snatched these people is probably still lurking.
I don't know if we can take care of 100 of those things, though.
Well,
I said.
Would there be any way? I mean, I don't think these things would leave people. Well, okay, so the thing at the bottom is keeping them from coming up. Would they leave the people? Well, I guess that means. I don't know. I feel like. I call it intuition. I feel like Ash is telling us everything. I feel like.
Can we make any determination how old the blood and the remnants and stuff is?
They said it was like 6 days ago, so.
Yeah.
You can make a survival check if you want to send us there. See if since it's sort of like a tracking.
I have a better survival. I can.
Well, you can both, or one of you can do it with advantage if you're one's assisting.
I'll give it to you, Zia. Like I think there's a lot of destruction and not too many people left in town. That we can't go around, wandering when there's danger.
I got a 9.
I saw that.
Plus 5 and advantage.
I saw that roll.
I mean, it's you can definitely tell it's not fresh because it's dried a bit. It's beyond that stuff to tell, but it looks like it could certainly be like 3.5, 4 days ago, like she said, within the past week probably, but not within the past few days. It's been at least a few days.
Whatever attacked those people could still be lurking. Honestly, if we're gonna spend the night here,
I mean, we're not gonna. I don't think we should spend the night here. I think we should just stay on the ship, honestly.
what's stopping whatever attacked here to attack our ship?
At least if we're on the ship, we can leave.
Yeah, just in case if it gets too dicey.
If we keep watches, and if we see anything weird happening here on shore, we're just like, we need to go. Bye.
Because we need to take care of little dude, make sure nothing happens to little dude.
Does anybody happen to have any, like, I don't know, detection spells? Come on, Brila, you got some stuff sometimes.
Actually, Cassius does.
Cassius pulling out.
Nice.
So he has a couple. He has 2 different spells. He has Identify and he has Detect Magic. As far as that goes. So I don't know which one. I don't know which one of those would be more applicable. I'll look at the description.
What are you wanting to detect? The monster, Sia?
Well, if there were 200, 300 of them, which I think is a reasonable assumption based on she gestures to everything.
Insect air creatures
I think
with human.
potentially show whether or not it's something we should be like up to hear about or like
Right.
I don't.
less.
Well, I do have detect evil and good, so I can detect like celestials, fae, fiends, undead, but they have to be within 30 feet of me.
Well, so
If-
would the things have left people alive? So like if Ash was like, for instance,
She might have had a good hiding spot or ability to shield herself. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I have the ability to make a hut to shield us all from anything affecting us. Or
Okay.
not it.
Do you guys want to wait until Ash gets back? Because then we can get
Yeah.
a little bit more information.
Guys, what if Ash is the monster?
Yeah, that'd be
You think
kind of
that's
cool
possible?
because I think it would. It'd be like, hey, come on in. I'm friendly
Yeah,
and
like,
stuff.
hey, I'm here. I'm here welcoming you to the island, and then,
And then,
just
ah.
completely kill us all, like in the middle of the night.
So Brila, do you want to do your detect evil and good when she comes back?
I can do that. Yes.
I
that-
mean,
Good at
that's what
reading
I was
people.
gonna say.
that'd be our
I
screening
was
process.
leading up to, but
Oh, my
I'm
bad.
gonna do
Brila.
it. I'm gonna do it really sneaky, Cassius. I'm gonna just.
I'll
sit
play
in the
some music.
background.
I'll play
Right,
some music to
right.
distract her.
Right.
And then she's gonna
I'll
be
try to
like,
get in a place to where like she can't. That's why I have this cloak. I can try and be like, oh, I'm fixing something under my cloak, and then be like, oh.
Brila, can you pretend
then-
to read a book?
I mean,
gonna-
I have my journal. Sure. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That might be.
I mean, but I have to
I
use
don't
my
know.
hands in order to so I can't be holding something.
Maybe
So
we just
you know,
block you.
I'll
while
just
we're talking
pretend
to
like
her.
I'm adjusting my collar under my cloak, and then just like whoa, and move my fingers.
I
like,
know some infernal death metal songs. They kind of rip, right? It's gonna
Yeah,
blow her head
and
off.
so then
she's
Ash's
gonna be like,
attention will
"Woo."
be Ash's attention will be drawn to Sinister. I can do my magic, and we'll find out.
okay. So I think Ash only said that she was gonna be gone for like 10 minutes. So
Rila's gonna get in position.
okay. So Ashavar, so this usually works for some reason.
Yes.
Just go along with it. It'll be fine.
I love it. All right. A little more time goes by before Ash returns, comes in. See her kind of shaking off her wings outside and pulling at her clothes to kind of shake off. They're getting soaked out there. Steps back in.
I'll see it. It's in the mage hand and Rhodey to dry her off.
Nice.
Oh, welcome
thank
back.
you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Whew. Well, rain's really been coming down out there. Right. So did you? I'd love to go meet your crew, but if you have anything for me before we head on out, anything?
Gonna start doing detect evil and good. Try to get into position, Dan, to where like I'm kind of behind her, like just kind of like pretend I'm looking at something. And then like
Do us.
Do a sleight of hand check,
Okay.
Relith, if you would. You can do it with advantage because of all your setup and stuff.
Cassius will stand in front of her if that'll help her get advantage, just to kind of like shield her from that.
that
Okay.
is
Between you and
a
Sinister, it gives advantage.
16 total.
Okay.
I only know
Plus-
infernal nursery rhymes, if you don't mind. Oh, no.
Woo! I love it. All right, let's see. 16.
And Shavar starts headbanging.
Nice,
Yes.
nice.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then I'm gonna send the triangle with Rhodey and like kind of get Asherford and dig it.
Yep. More cowbell.
It needs more cowbell.
Oh, Ash, I know this is a little weird, but this is how we greet people.
Yeah.
With a song, a little bit of dancing.
Yeah,
Nice.
get the party
Do a little
started.
dance. So you cast the spell successfully. Detect evil and good. You're casting, Relith?
Yes, detect evil and good.
So-
Aberration, celestial, elemental, fae, fiend, or undead within 30 feet.
So while she's technically a humanoid, it does ping slightly of fiend,
Okay.
which would be expected of a tiefling.
Yes.
If you've cast this before.
Yes. Also, there's a place or an object within 30 feet of you that's been magically consecrated or desecrated. Anything with that or no?
Nothing, thankfully.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Okay.
Cassius will kind of look back and breathe like giving her like a wee good look.
Ooh!
Bahamut. Bahamut.
That's awesome. That's a fun tune. I haven't heard any good music here in quite a while. Whew.
Oh, you like? I'm
Oh,
kind of a
yeah.
celebrity. I'm really.
Really? That's
Yeah.
all right.
He really is. Mhm.
Ah,
Yeah.
Wow, I can see such talent. All right.
And then he lets the dance of life.
Woo!
So good, right?
Mhm.
So
I'm gonna look.
actually-
I'm gonna keep looking back at Breathe, like kind of look up, like.
Cassius kind of nudge Sinister and be like, "We good."
All right, and that is how Bahamut made a circle.
Oh, your talent always amazes me, Sinister.
Thank you, thank you. It amazes me sometimes too.
That's awesome. Right. So, I'd love to check out your ship. You know, I mean, that was beautiful. I guess maybe I just a few days without seeing people after they've been absconded with by deadly creatures from a nightmare. I just wasn't ready for that. But fine music.
Game to please.
Was that what you had your meeting for?
Yes.
That's really sweet. I appreciate that.
We like to plan little surprises like that.
Yes, yes. And if you're ready, and he opens the door, pops up the umbrella,
Oh, thank you. Oh, yeah.
we can introduce you to the crew.
All right. Heads out and hops underneath the umbrella there with you.
You have a lovely shade of eyes. I have red. You have those rose-colored eyes. It's really nice. It
well, thank you.
compliments your cheekbones. It's really
Hosea to Ashvar. So this is the part where Sinister usually seduces the person. Really good at it.
But
Nice.
And there's the ship and all that. Our captain Liazana, her quarters, and
Ooh. All right. She's taking everything in as she walks up the gangplank and the hull, everything, the upper deck, the captain's quarters. Oh wow! Now this do you open the doors for the captain's quarters, or do you just sort of like point like over there?
I just point because I don't open. I haven't been in the captain's quarters other than the first time, so it's just like
Okay.
if I open it, it's gonna be like a Guns N' Roses concert.
That's awesome.
So he's not confused.
Well, that's beautiful. All right. Well, this is Ooh, and good. Is it all right if I go? Well, right. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get ahead of myself here. You said there was a Wisp. Was the engineer?
Yeah, I'll introduce you to him.
Oh, lovely.
And then Cassius will look for Wisp wherever he may be.
He's down in the galley currently. They're docked, and the post-docking procedure's done. So they're getting Vic's making a snack.
Yeah, Cassius will make the introductions to them for them. Wisp. He'll try to get his attention. I want you to meet somebody that we met. This is Ash. Apparently, he has experience working on ships of these kinds.
Seems very capable.
Right.
Look at the
Well,
guns.
There's an unfinished, or there's a damaged model. Is it damaged or unfinished?
Just a little piece. Everything's based off of the arcane engine we have, and it's really just the arcane engine and another. Well, I mean, I can't talk about all of it, but it's just a couple of pieces we found.
Oh, I see.
Right, never anything intact. Whew.
What about the parts shrouded in darkness?
Oh, all that down there? Wait,
Yes.
like the clouds below us and such?
No. In the bottom. Thought there was
There's something in the bottom it just kind of looks between you and Wisp. Really? Wait, in the ship? There's an area of the ship that's just covered in darkness?
Yeah, it's magical darkness. I usually can see, but I can't see through it. It has to be magical in nature.
No, we've never encountered anything like that. I would love to take a closer look, though. If you're all willing.
Here's the problem, Ash. The door is sealed shut. We had our residential friend do this, and Cash would kind of be like, Charlie.
Nice.
Charles. You want Charles, not the cat.
Charlie's the cat. That's right.
Nice.
Charles.
Yeah, I'm sure he's around. He's hanging out. He becomes visible. Yes. Oh, guest. That's so cool. Hi, I'm Charles.
Don't be alarmed, Ash. He's a friendly
The
ghost.
scar thing. That is.
He's a friendly ghost.
Well, that's so nice. I try to be friendly. Yes, right.
He's an adventurer. He has an adventurer heart. He met his end, unfortunately, but it's not his end. It's his beginning with us.
That's right. Just another step. So yes. I was down underneath, in almost like the hull of the ship, and I couldn't see a thing. There was a large structure in the middle, that I had to walk around, but most of the rest of it seemed sort of open. There were maybe posts or banners or something that ran out to the sides from that whatever was in the center, but couldn't see a thing. And she kind of looks like with great curiosity, like, oh, like completely, looking over the fact that Charles is a ghost that just appeared before, and she's so captivated by this story. Whew. All right. Right. So that makes sense. You can get down there. I'd love to. If I can go around, take a look at the rest of the ship for a bit. I can.
Oh sure, I'm sure Wiz can accommodate you like with parts of the ship that may or may not have some issues, especially since you've been working on these for a little while. So I mean, you get to work on an intact one. What better way to test your skills?
Right. Whew. All right. And she kind of nods to Wisp, who nods back, and they'll head on out probably from there. She's overly excited. So she'll take a little time, up to maybe an hour, to go around the ship with Wisp. Is there anything y'all want to do in that hour, or do you just want to wait till she kind of comes back around?
We're gonna need her help going back into town, so I think it's better that we let her peruse around the ship, take it in, because we're gonna need her help to talk to a few people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we gonna show her the map room? Just gonna leave that part.
I don't think that's if we maybe later. I don't think we should show her that right now.
Yes, I don't mean. I'm gonna stay here and let you guys do ship and hard labor work.
Okay.
My only worry with it doesn't matter. I think at this point we know that she's probably not bad. If we let her in without describing the whole thing 100%, she might accidentally conjure the event that happened here in the room. And
I think we are also putting a lot of trust in a stranger that we just met.
That's very true.
One step at a time. I think
I think we don't let her use the captain's quarters for that reason, Zia. I don't think
for the time being.
Yeah, for now.
Who knows? Maybe she doesn't even have many ties here anymore. I guess.
From the looks of it, it doesn't seem that way. I don't think she's going to be repairing.
And we
much.
have been looking for crew Sinister, so.
And
she's really nice.
And she's almost the perfect fit. Ashavar, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, sorry. I was just gonna say, and she's cute and ripped.
Yes. Besides that, she recognizes good music and she could be useful.
So yeah, we can definitely keep that in the back pocket.
Oh yeah.
A little bit.
But you made an excellent point, Zia. I think we don't show her too much until we know we can trust her, I guess. So it's probably for the best.
We are putting. We've already laid a lot on somebody who's been actually through. Seems like a horrific week, and
Yeah.
This
could be the perfect thing to get our mind off of it, though.
Yeah, she did like my music, though. I'm always a fan that's a fan of me.
That's awesome.
So, Liazana, is it this all cool so far?
I'm honestly fine with it.
Okay, cool.
Seems to know what she's talking about.
Okay.
So
for the record, Captain, your guns are a little bit better than that. Just putting it out there.
I'll
Draw
keep that
one
in mind.
You're
I'll keep that in mind.
Oh, I love it.
also, and he's gonna if we go back into when it's time, I'm gonna make sure Liaison has inspiration in case something happens.
Ah, nice. All right. All right, so you set that inspiration up. Just you hear the floorboards of them walking up. So just before you hype Liaison up with some inspiration.
Just in case something pops off, Captain. All right, I hope you're ready for something good.
Nice. And it's Ash returns without Wisp in tow this time. And she goes, "Oh, right, okay. I'm sorry. It took me a little bit of time to find my way back here, but this ship is fascinating. I actually have Wisp working on a few things. Right. Oh, yeah. Well, at least investigating. Propose some ideas as to what some of this might, how some other the inner workings go with this arcane engine. I think we can get a little more speed, at least 20% additional speed out of these engines. They are in fact the same as that original one we have, but with it working, it's much better to understand the flow. So he's working on that. He seemed really excited about tackling that. Now, of course, I can't find any way to get anything get down there in that hull of the ship, but
you wouldn't happen to have any tools that could facilitate anything like pertaining to the ship, would you? Like any special tools?
I do actually. I was gonna mention that. It's funny you say that. I do. I have now I have an engineering, a few engineering degrees, but being a shipwright is my main focus. I have a whole set of tools to work on a ship like this and to study it and such. I did that for about 12 years or so before coming out here.
Nice.
I was going to ask if I should probably report in, of course, to Zug and let him know, that I'll be otherwise indisposed and such. Probably let him know there's folks here. I mean, I'm sure he's a fine gentleman, but I probably should report. He is my boss, and
well, that is a coincidence because we were seeking to maybe speak with Mr. Zug himself too, so you can lead the way, I suppose.
I would love to, absolutely.
You are a woman of many talents, and you're so charming. I just
you're too kind. Thank you.
Thank you.
What did you say that Wisp was working on?
Increasing the maximum potential speed these arcane engines can give you. That boosts about 20%. They just weren't being utilized the best they could. So he gave us some ideas, and he's taking care of it now. Yeah, jump right on that.
Nice.
There's clearly another couple of. Now I don't know what y'all have sorted out with this ship so far, but it seems to have a number of functions that, of course, our current ships don't have. But looking at the arcane engines, they seem to power mostly propulsion, but they're tied into at least 2 other systems. I'm not quite sure what those systems are. One seems to require a great bit of energy. 2 of them do, but one consistently, it's all wired up to offer heavy flow, consistent power. And the other seems to give almost like a quick burst of strong energy. It's very interesting. I don't know what they tie to yet, but have you all encountered or figured anything else out with this ship aside from just its general propulsion? I mean, that you're willing to talk about, of course. I understand.
So the other, probably a few weeks ago. Would it be a few weeks ago or a few months ago that we tested out the cloak function?
About 6 weeks ago.
About 6 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so about a month ago, we found a couple of different settings for the ship. The first setting that we found was that we could potentially, activate a cloaking device on the ship.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Oh.
The second device we haven't quite figured out yet. Cassius is going to keep the island a secret from her. He's just going to tell her about the cloaking device. Yeah.
Nice. Well, that makes sense with that consistent power. That must be your stealth running. That makes a lot of sense, right? I
It has
don't.
a name.
Well, yeah. I don't think that's just mechanically what it would be. It would offer up. If you're talking about stealth, that would be wired. You need a consistent amount of energy. It would only be able to run. Oh gosh, I'd say probably about 15, 20 minutes maybe at a time. I don't know if you tested its duration.
You just answered my question. We were gonna test its duration,
Ooh.
but if it's only 15 or 20 minutes, then it's not good for what I wanted to use it for.
Oh no. Well, it might be longer. I'd have to see a lot of this field through the to
Well,
that lower
Cassius, remember when we first powered up the ship, we had to pump in a lot of energy. Maybe if we pump more energy into that, it's like it would increase its longevity. But
I see where you're coming from, but I think if Ash is helping Wisp make it more energy efficient, we might not even have to do that. Like we might have energy on the ship we're not even using correctly, like another pool of energy that we're not using.
Well, yeah, I think making it more efficient would be important. However, if you haven't had the crystals tuned, then there is more potential to increase the overall amount of energy that they are holding as well. They might only be running it like I didn't have an opportunity to take a look at that, so that could be that takes a couple of at least 3 days or so to assess, but could be running at maybe 50% or something like that, 60% if they haven't been used in, well, I don't know how long. But we can get you up and running.
I'm quite sure there's lots of functions that could use some optimization.
Right. Well, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you letting me be down here looking at this. It's a C1 intact and operating. It's just, it's already answered so many of my questions. Some questions have been posed for hundreds of years, not quite understanding how this all integrates together. It's incredible. What a fine ship. It's in such good shape. Whew.
Well, whenever you're ready, my dear, you can lead us to Zug.
Will do. All right. Well, follow me then. Let's get you on up there.
Now, those critters are not still in the city, are they?
No, they did what they need to do. The city moves just a little bit, and we moved it to a decent distance, and then with the foundation up and running, so shouldn't really know where we are currently anyway.
Oh, I see.
Where are they staying? Like, are they in the sky or?
We're down on the clouds there. Yeah, we don't really know. That's part of our research to figure out exactly what their habitat is down there. Are they traversing plains, and this is just the other side of that portal, the clouds? Or is there an actual little biosphere, biodome down there that they live within, in the clouds, where indications point to them coming across? But
Ash, were you ever able to catch one?
No, we haven't yet. So a long time ago, when things first got started here in these islands, that was one of their first attempts. But when one was caught, it seems to have some way to signal the others that we can't assess or understand exactly how they're doing it. So others would swarm to come back and get their captive friend, which always signaled trouble because they always travel in swarms.
How big are these creatures?
Oh, well, all varied sizes. We've monitored some that look like giant leviathan just purling up out of the clouds and arcing back. Oh, it was frightening. And others that are a little on the smaller side. But I think maybe the other day there were some as large as that floating around the city. There were some that were size of maybe a giant spider or so, some humanoid, and some size like a little child creeping around.
Have you ever I'm an archaeologist, so I kind of have a fascination with eggs.
Is that so?
Have you ever seen one of their eggs? Like
well, no. I don't know that they reproduce it.
Oh, they don't do eggs. They just
Right, we're not sure. We just don't have any
Right.
data on it.
Sure.
I mean, it's entirely possible.
Maybe there's a zoo somewhere, that might know. Yeah, thank you.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Now I just want to see a D&D zoo of like just a bunch of mythical creatures.
Yes. Yes.
The start of a wonderful horror movie. Yeah.
I think we probably have enough space for a menagerie in that forest. Just
Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
quite sure there is.
So while this is kind of happening, I think, I don't know who would be best to do this, but if nobody else is, I would kind of be like, hey, for signaling for Charles to ask if Wisp is really where Ash says he is.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Charles will kind of like, I'm here. You'll just hear his voice.
If I can see Charles, I can communicate telepathically with him.
Oh, okay. He's if he hears, well, he'd probably be invisible just if he sees Zia, like, and he'll be invisible. But if Zia says anything, or if he becomes visible.
Yeah.
But for now, he'll just kind of whisper in Zia's ear, like, yeah. But he's like down here.
I think as a distraction, Cassius would like take her to the front of the ship.
Okay.
To kind of be like, oh yeah, can I just show you these levers?
You know me, I'm really into the levers. I mean, ever since Liazana.
Oh no, Cassie's talking to Ash to distract her. Yeah.
And Zia's been like, okay.
Nice.
I mean, Zia, you can come if you want, but
no, it's okay. I've seen plenty of levers.
oh, you're good. Okay, all right. And then Cassius kind of like lead her away, so we can figure out if Wisp is okay.
Yeah, Charles goes. It floats down through that level down to the area that Ash mentioned, and then returns. Yes, he's really excited. He's working on a bunch of stuff, has his tools out and everything. Seems very excited about it, but he's okay.
Awesome.
Cash is gonna kind of look back. Oh, okay. And then he's gonna be completely comfortable with taking her to the actual front of the ship and showing her.
Okay.
And then I would be like wanting to ask Ash one question. If there was anybody here within the last 1 to 3 months with like a weird looking book.
Okay.
You said you don't get a lot of visitors. I was just, curious if somebody just showed up.
Oh, right. Well, there was a person. She was, she was sort of an asshole. Right, she came through a while back. Yeah, looking for that fancy book there. She actually had some access, or so it was rumored. I never saw her go up there to the Celestial Plateau, but where are my notes at? But Zug, she was speaking directly with Zug, and had some form of access to come on through here and head up to the Celestial Plateau up there. But really, really bossy and just ordering everyone around, and thought she was the shit, as we say here in the mill.
Neat. This sounds like a familial person. Kind of bossy,
Now, mind you, she was looking for a book and had some sort of a lead that led her to Zug, and it led her then up to whatever deal she struck with the Celestial Plateau to gain access. Now, I don't know if she ever came back through. I remember when her, I'm not really in charge of the docks down here, don't usually come by or anything that often, just sometimes to admire ships, but I remember came through on a very fancy ship, very sleek, very fast, cutting edge, arcane technology. And I remember seeing the ship, and then I remember seeing it gone maybe about 2.5 weeks or so after she arrived.
Okay.
So I don't know if she ever left with that there book, but I was with Zug during one of their encounters, and she was asking about it and trying to follow up. A little threatening, I think. Not a very kind individual, but clearly on a mission of some sort. Nothing was going to get in her way.
Thank you. I'm sure that Zach will probably have a little bit more information.
Sure.
Maybe we can confirm. But I was just curious.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. I mean, look, you're all doing me a huge favor. I'm telling you, it's centuries of trying to get answers for this. What you've all done for me today, let me take a look around. Least I can do.
It was
sorry,
our
Captain,
pleasure.
Oh, sorry.
Our
Oh, no, it's all good. That was like a really great question, and we got
Yeah,
a
it
really
was.
great answer. Actually, Ash, if you don't mind, can we go possibly talk to Zug?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, and then if anything, if you want to come back to the ship, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, I appreciate that. Certainly then. Oh, I'll definitely. Yeah. All right, let's go see Zug. Let's get you whatever answers we can, and help you find whatever you're here for. I might ask as you're walking. She's kind of walking up to the city with y'all. So what is it you're all? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what are y'all here for? I mean, this is sort of a research island. Not many folks come out here.
That's precisely why we're here, for research.
Yeah, as I said, I'm an archaeologist, so I'm just researching some
Eggs.
Yes, eggs and structures and anything with history, anything that's been around for, I don't know, thousands of years.
All right.
Yes.
Ashabar is here researching stuff too, right?
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and what are you?
I dabble in ancient languages sometimes. Just looking for rocks with stuff written on them. She's doing a really bad job of making herself sound smart because she's nervous.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Well, that's incredible. Oh, all right. And she'll, make some small talk and pull up some questions and such as you go through. Let's see. Quick answer, yes, Claire, but I will elaborate here in a moment. Sorry. I'm so bad at typing.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Sorry.
No, you're
I was
fine.
just
You're
curious.
fine. Okay, you make your way through, and you get towards the center of the city, and Ash stops, and now I don't suppose any of y'all do y'all have means of flying, or I mean, there's an easy way if we can all fly. But if not, all right.
I'm still learning parts of your land, so maybe given enough time, I could fly.
Oh,
Oh.
all right.
I can make it to another level with you.
Oh, yeah. I know those breakthroughs, right, as you're advancing in studies. Right.
Yeah, it helps if I get some more research and I can maybe fly, but not this moment in time.
All right. We're gonna. And you see her kind of, glance about a bit, slightly nervous at the prospect of whatever is going to happen here. Right. So we don't have any dignified means of getting from one area to the next. There is. She walks over to a little plateau in a crossroads, and it has what almost looks like a lotus flower in different colored bricks in the center. And so this is it's a bit of a lift up to the next up to the institute. So we've talked to Zug. So ever since I've never been a fan of it myself. I prefer to fly. And it's a bit more mostly mechanical and slightly has a little bit of magic to it. So I trust magic a little more than mechanics to make it work. But that being said, has been working so well here in the since all this went down. I was up in the air mid-attack, and anyway, I can catch one of you if anything happens. But it should still work. I'm just going to fly just to, not add any further weight to it. And I'd be ready to catch one of y'all if I need to. But up we go then. Just stand on the Lotus here, and we'll make it happen. Does everyone stand on the Lotus bricks? Or does anybody not stand on it? Like, nope.
Cash is gonna be very hesitant, but he'll get on.
Okay.
I'm gonna hop right on, just like, ugh.
Nice. All right. Assuming everyone else hops on, Ash will lean down and touch a brick on the edge of one of the lotus petals, and mutter something in infernal activation for it, and you feel it. The whole thing shudders and jumps, and it starts lifting up like a little miniature island, real rickety and shaking up. No railings, nothing. And it's going to lift you up to this next section of the
I'm
island.
gonna start playing some like some music.
Stairway to Heaven.
Yeah.
Nice. You're sort of in the center of this section, this floating section, and as it goes up, it starts to go around the outer edge of the one above. Oops, I hit the microphone. Around the institute, but as it does, it tips to move to the side, and so you feel the pitch. With no rails, it starts to pitch a bit. Right. Just sorry, there were rails. There aren't right now after everything that happened, but she's flying next to you. Yeah, it'll pitch a bit, but just should be fine to stay standing. Just be careful. And it there's a couple times in its flight to go up, it really pitches hard, and it gets a little. It's like standing on a roof with a fairly decent pitch to it. But well enough where no one has to make any checks. It makes it up around, and then settles down on the outer edge in a section that's empty and ready to receive this lotus flower. So it settles down into the ground, and in the last 2 feet it just drops into the ground and sort of whoo. Right, she lands next to you. All right, everyone's here. All right, good. Well, we all made it. That's wonderful. I'm sorry about that. We usually have a bit of a quicker means to get up here, but some parts it takes a dozen people to man it and operate it elsewhere. So,
Sure.
All right, let's see Zug. He'll be up in the main building here. Oh, right. So there's a tavern over here, just in case any of y'all have to, use a bathroom or anything before we get up there. There are bathrooms are hard to find in the institute up there. So, whew.
I gotta go.
Nice. And that's where we'll take our bio break. For anyone that doesn't know, we take like a 10-minute bio break. We'll keep our audio hot so we can keep chatting for those of us that are here. And yeah, that's right. That's awesome. And we'll catch you all in about 10 minutes. See you soon. All right, BRB. And I'll get you a little more info clear, too.
Oh, yeah.
So has anybody subscribed to D&D Beyond because they ran out of character slots for
Oh, yeah.
character ideas?
Yep. Well, I mean, mine wasn't even like. I mean, I'm not even a person to like create random characters. I usually don't create them until I need them. But like, I still had several on there. But yeah, then sometimes I'll also create them like for my DMing on Mondays. You know, like when I need to work out some stuff. So, but yeah.
I have done both ways. Like I've made one of my ESO characters into a D&D character, and I've made like 3 of my D&D characters into ESO characters.
Yeah. Get any new water?
I just realized I might have fucked the cameras up. Oh no. Oh no. Hold on. I really hope I didn't. Let me check.
You totally messed it up.
I turned my camera off and it didn't mess up the rest of everybody else.
Yeah, so Sarah, I did that because you did that. I just wanted to test it. I really hope I didn't fuck the cameras up. Oh man.
Turns out Garrus wasn't hiding my glasses. I left them in my car.
Oh, well, at least you found them. That's the important thing.
Oh my goodness. All right. Bum, bum, bum. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know why I have Willy Wonka song stuck in my head.
Wait a minute.
Is there a Willy Wonka character coming up? Oh man.
Are we going to a candy forest?
Is this a chocolate factory? Are we going to a chocolate factory?
Ooh.
That pipe doesn't lead to the marshmallow room.
You just see a very eccentric man with a top hat and a cane just come down the
Brilith
ladder.
is going to be so excited.
Oh my gosh.
Everybody's on a sugar high.
Can you imagine Brilith on a sugar high? She would
Yes.
be unstoppable.
She would dig up all the graves. Respectfully.
Respectfully,
amazing.
yes.
Very respectfully.
Respectfully. Digging up graves.
Ooh.
I'm all for it. Or if you just so happen, if you want to introduce a Willy Wonka-esque character, Dan, I'm not gonna stop you. That'd be great.
Yeah.
Nice.
I feel like in some ways Willy Wonka is like the nouveau Loki.
Yes.
You know?
Oh yeah.
He was a prankster.
Sure.
Yeah, but everybody kind of gets like their comeuppance.
Did those kids get murdered?
Yes. Oh, they totally
Okay.
got murdered.
Okay,
think they
just
did.
making sure.
And
Just
then
making
the really, really long contract that they signed basically transferred all culpability to Charlie.
sure. Ooh, he did that to a kid. That's
Oh,
that's messed up.
And
I didn't
believe it
realize
or
how messed
not,
up that was.
I was talking like perks of dating a lawyer. That contract would hold.
Oh shit!
Charlie
Really?
would be prosecuted for all of the murders,
Even if he's a child?
even if he's a child.
Wow. It's the perfect plan.
It's a
the
cold
perfect
world.
crime.
It's a cold world we live in. That's so
Wow.
In a lot of ways, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory is kind of like the Purge.
Nice.
cool. What if he
Nice.
did that on Purge Day so it was legal?
Nice.
I mean, honestly, there's so many little bits and pieces that are just insane to think about.
Yeah.
He really did kill all those kids. I just thought about that.
Oh, they did.
That's so crazy.
They did. Yeah.
Poor guys. that one little girl that got turned into the blue. What was it? A blue
blueberry.
Blueberry.
A blueberry.
Yeah,
She,
Dead.
she deserved that shit. A little
Oh
bit.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, in the books, they're all a little bit more. It's more black and white morality wise on how.
Oh, okay.
not
So they're
great
like
the kids
clearly
are.
wrong. Yeah.
They
Nice.
changed Augustus's character a lot. He's the one where I'm like,
Oh.
come on, like being fat is not a like negative trait. man.
Right. That's fucked up.
In the book, it's a little. It's a
Is
little
it more
different.
nuanced?
Well, they kind of imply that his parents are like connected to the Nazis.
Oh.
Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah, that's 1,000 times
Man,
more.
I haven't
Yeah.
read that book in a while. and
Yeah. Wow. I
yeah.
did not know that. Yeah. That's new
Roald
information.
Dahl's books were always kind of subversive anyway. It was like, I mean, they were literally calling kids idiots. And
That's funny though. That's funny though.
That's amazing.
it was bad.
That's so, that's
Looks so
fucked
good. I
up
read
'cause they
every
haven't had a
one.
chance to like not be idiots, but you can't call a kid an idiot.
Right.
It's so funny.
I love that.
But oh, poor kids.
Yeah.
Damn, he really killed them though. Wow,
Bad.
that makes that movie 1,000.
He
times
did.
better.
Yes. Okay. So in the early draft, after being renamed, the person who falls down the chocolate waterfall is actually a girl in the book, and ends up in the peanut brittle mixer. This results in the quote rude and disobedient little kid becoming quote quite delicious.
Oh. Yes.
What
Oh,
do you think
geez.
is in the candy?
Wow.
No, it
Dark.
has that extra kick, yeah. And that kick is his kids. Oh no.
I always thought that chocolate looked suspicious.
The peanut brittle was extra crunchy. Oh no. That's terrible. Wow. Oh man. Oh shit! Everybody can hear us in the chat. That's so funny, Jonathan.
Like you remember the tunnel scene, right? Did that like really mess you up when you were younger?
It was like an acid trip.
Yeah.
That's all I remember is that it just got strange in there. Got really
Did you
They
strange.
know
were cutting
that-
chickens' heads off.
Yeah.
You talking about the tunnel scene in the Gene Wilder Willy Wonka?
Yeah. That shit
The
got
Did you
real
crazy.
Willy
know
Wonka
that
movie.
no one knew that was going to happen except Gene Wilder? So those reactions are actually 100% legitimate.
Oh shit! Okay.
Damn.
No one, none of the actors, the kids didn't know, the adults didn't know, no one knew except Gene Wilder and some of the behind the scenes people. So those reactions were 100% legitimate.
Wow.
Okay.
That makes me want to watch that scene again.
While I think that kind of
Yeah.
acting is legitimate and can be like great, those kids are definitely traumatized.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
not even low key, like high key traumatized.
When did that movie come out? The 70s?
Oh,
Rip Gene Wilder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's so amazing. Well, maybe early 80s then? Late 70s, early 80s?
Alexa, when did Willy
Oh,
Wonka and the
71.
Chocolate Factory come out?
1971.
71.
Okay, it was the 70s. Nice.
I'm faster than
Jeez.
Alexa.
I like the fact that when every time a kid was murdered, he would just play his like,
Murdered.
"Woo, all right, well, whatever. Let's
Womp,
go."
womp, womp.
So much
And the Oompa
beauty.
Loompas would come out and sing a song about this dead
The
kid.
cleanup crew, yeah.
Because you have to think about this, right? Because each one of the Oompa Loompas, like, they had this choreography that was specifically tailored to the child.
Yeah.
Like, their name,
yeah,
everything
yeah.
about them.
They knew.
It implies that
My God.
he placed the tickets
Mm.
specifically. Because if you think about it, like in terms of like the distribution is worldwide, and they show all these scenes everywhere, but almost all, I think all the kids are white in the book as well as the movie.
Mm-hmm. They
And
are.
so it's very clearly like, oh, he put them there for those kids to discover.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, look at Charlie, sweet innocent kid. I'm gonna pin this all on him.
Charlie's not that sweet.
Let's get
and
the
innocent.
poor kid in.
Compared to the other kids.
Let's get the poor
Oh,
kid.
compared to the other kids, sure, but I think in
Comparatively.
some ways it like represents how a child can easily be corrupted, right? Because like
That's
in
fair.
the floating room,
Oh, yeah.
he goes with his grandpa
Mm-hmm.
instead of making the correct decision to this messed up old guy's morality.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Who's like, I'm murdering kids, but it's okay because they're not nice.
They're not good
Right.
kids that I'm
Yeah.
murdering.
They're too old to learn new ways.
Only the bad ones.
Not to get political or anything, but child murder is bad regardless if the child is rude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I agree
Oh
100%.
my gosh.
That's one of the universal taboos. Is like you don't mess with kids
You
and old
probably
people.
shouldn't
yeah.
murder kids.
Oh my gosh.
I just love how, like, the National Film Registry said this movie focusing solely on child murder, is culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
Nice.
Wasn't it PG
Give it
too?
that stamp. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah,
Okay,
because I
but-
know PG ratings back then were wild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like RoboCop was PG,
Really?
and he got shot.
Spaceballs.
Yeah.
Spaceballs was
Yeah.
PG.
Really?
Yeah.
Airplane has full frontal and is rated PG.
PG. The 80s
And
was something
I
else.
babysat some kids once who wanted to watch it.
Nice.
I had
Buckle
no
up.
idea how to explain that to them, so I just didn't.
Yeah, yeah.
I just remember the part where the dude who becomes RoboCop gets blasted apart by machines. I'm just like,
Yeah.
this is
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
oh my god.
Yeah.
Great.
That's,
They're like, oh, you can handle it. Your parents will explain it. It's okay.
F your rating system.
That's right.
yeah.
This.
Which is
Right.
completely arbitrary. It's a
It
whole
is.
group of people that their identities are withheld. And
Yeah.
it's not consistent at all.
There was a documentary on it. I
Really?
think it's called "This Film Is Not Yet Rated," where they actually tried to talk to the people who are in charge of the rating system, and they couldn't. And it's a really interesting documentary, I thought.
Nice.
Do they just like flip the laptop around? How do you explain this? And just show something horrid happening? Explain that for me,
and
real
yet
quick.
this one.
They get Chris Hansen. Like, why don't you have a seat? Tell me why this is a PG movie. Just tell me why.
Explain
Have a seat.
yourself.
Put the Mike's Hard Lemonade
Sit
down
down.
and tell me why this scene is
Awesome.
I remember when I was watching the original Willy Wonka movie, I had to leave the room during the blueberry scene.
That shit was crazy.
Oh yeah. Plus that claustrophobia piece of that too. Like,
I understand.
I'm gonna put our video
I
back
was
on.
waiting for Mike TV to die. I was like, this kid gotta go.
Wasn't he the last one to go?
I think so.
He was.
Of course.
Cassius, you did mess it up.
See, I told you. See,
Oh no!
I told you. So I just turned my video off then,
That's okay. I'll go through.
and I got
They were
scared. I was like, I
testing
hope I
you,
didn't.
Dan. They were testing you.
Will Dan
Love how-
notice? Yes.
I love how we're stuck on Willy Wonka. Like a couple episodes where we're in an elevator. I was like,
Oh my gosh.
story.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
You have this story in your land too?
Oh wait, what was Apocalypse Now rated? Please tell me. What
That was
gosh.
R.
Okay, thank
Okay.
God.
I think that
okay.
was an R.
They chopped up an actual cow in that movie.
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah, I was like, oh my gosh.
That's. Ugh. Okay, well, I'm going to drop us back in.
After that
What a way to jump.
titillating interlude.
Oh, I'm sorry, stream. My bad.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. You come across a cow. Not just kidding. We'll segue via cow. Yeah, you walk through the institute, which is a number of academic buildings here. Almost like a really, really large campus, university campus devoted to research. There's a central building that has around it has a few courtyards and those C-shaped buildings, and in the very center seems to be like a 5-6 story building. Ash leads you through there, and up the stairs. No elevator in this one. Up the stairs to the highest level, and approaches a door and speaks in her native tongue to it, and it's completely infernal. That's it. Jeez, it was not clicking for me. Speaks infernal, and basically just is open for those that can understand infernal. And it takes a minute, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and then the door opens up. And you step into what very much appears to be like an alchemist's lab. There are large humanoid-sized tubes that are affixed to the wall inside other mechanical structures, and they're filled with like a green liquid that's bubbling. Nothing within them, but there nonetheless. A number of different size and shaped arcane crystals throughout. Large tables with a lot of the alembic type setups, alchemy tools and everything. And rushing about, only giving a momentary glance up over his shoulder, is an older, around 60, early 60s or so, half-orc gentleman. And he has very long, straight, dyed teal and cyan hair, or dyed teal hair and cyan eyes. Ooh, fancy. He has a smooth gray skin. He stands about 6'4", but has this really super built, like world's strongest person kind of build. But he's there in his lab coat and working away at things. This is going to be fun. Okay, he's working about. Ash clears his throat a time or two. Zug, there's some folks that arrived here and have a bit of, well, they were looking to have a bit of a conversation. I trust them and all, and I think they're, well, I figured you might have an interest in seeing them as well. So here they are. This here is, we've got Cassius and Sinister, who is also an entertainer of some renown. The lovely Ashavar over here, very smart as a whip, that one. Does a lot of research and such. Zia, this majestic creature over here, liaison of the captain, and Breathe, she's a sweetheart, and an archaeologist, focusing in studies of eggs. But you know, there's a need for everything, right? And Zug turns around, with this hulking form, turns. Oh, hi everyone. It's nice to meet you, he says. Welcome to the island. You came at a bad time.
I hear there were eldritch horrors that y'all had to deal with.
That is an excellent way to put it. Yes. Frightening. Thankfully we were down in the Foundation. So what brings you all here? Twisting some knobs and still working, kind of looking over his shoulder.
We had a couple of questions about the Celestial Plateau.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll answer them as best I can.
Okay.
Nasty folk up there. Nasty folk.
Have you ever been in contact with anyone up there? Outside of the funding that they give you, do they actually like speak to you or like communicate with you outside of the money?
Oh no, well no. I mean, they send their money down. They usually just pay for the things that we need and send those to us. We all have salaries, of course. But yeah. Sometimes I do have a sending stone that they use to communicate, and I can communicate with them when necessary. But it's really not frequently. They do not like being disturbed to the point where they'll replace us.
Do
if
they like
we bother
music?
them. I couldn't say. They seem a little stuffy. Not to say that means they wouldn't like music, but I just get the feeling they're maybe not partying people.
So, if it's okay, and from what I got from Ash, somebody came through recently who was a little not great, and when I say recently, like last couple months, and who may have gone up there. Do you happen to remember that?
Yeah, difficult to forget.
Oh,
Yes. Well, in that hardly. I mean, I feel like she's the only one that's come through that's been given any access or any acknowledgement, for that matter, from the Celestial Plateau. But also, she was just a raging tool bag. Oh my. She was so rude. And just felt she was owed everything. And, yes, I am sorry, if she's an acquaintance, but yes, she came through. Oh, no.
I don't know this woman.
You all seem like lovely folks, and if Ash brought you up here, I'm sure you're not, of this, that ilk.
Oh, what ilk was that?
Oh, anyone of that nature. I mean, yes, just, she was, and, he's gonna pause his stuff. Everything seems to be working, his, everything's bubbling and set as it needs to be. All right, with that, he'll probably notice. Oh, well, yeah, she was rather, tall, I believe, simply, sort of humanoid, but not a human, but not, actually, she shared, and he, is looking at Zia, as, seeing her face to face. Well, I hope I haven't offended. Are you related? You share a number of features. I'm so sorry if you are.
no, it's okay. I think there's a potential for that sort of relationship. I don't really know though.
Oh, all right. Well, no matter either way, I'm happy to answer any questions.
I noticed that a lot of the incantation to open the door to your laboratory and a lot of things are written in Inferno.
Yes.
Are they the original inhabitants, or did you purposely have those incanted to Inferno?
Well, this is my predecessor. Did most of that when this place was constructed. So perhaps, this particular building was added only maybe 25 years ago. So around then, yes, I took over about 10 or 12 years. I guess it's been 14 years now.
Fascinating.
Yes. This particular building was meant to, well, as you can see, there's a number of experiments run here that are a bit, not on the secret side, mind you, but not meant for the eyes of those in the middle. They do a lot of the face-to-face work, as it were, the groundwork. And this building was constructed to monitor, take readings on a number of things. This particular floor was, I've changed over since I took over to mostly be about my own personal experiments. But yes, anyway, my predecessor built this particular building here in the center. And yes, for quite a bit in Infernal. Usually it's in Draconic, of course, being one of the older languages, and what most magic is based in. But they spoke Infernal fluently and had a flair for it. So
Okay, I'm gonna, if I can look around and maybe. That's fascinating. Relis had questions,
Oh,
and Ashavar definitely had questions. She was like talking nonstop about things.
oh, I see. Yes, I mean, I don't. Truthfully, I'm pretty sure my life's work is out the window now. I don't know that they're going to keep me here, given what's happened. So why not?
Sure.
I'm happy to share.
Yes. Yes. A lot of questions. Uh-huh. Ashavar, did you want to ask first?
Look over to Ashford.
I'm just curious. Have you come across any things that are in a older dialect of Infernal than is commonly,
Oh,
spoken by the people who speak Infernal?
not infernal. No. In fact, I think it's mostly in this building that again was erected by my predecessor. Here on this portion of the island, no. However, down in the foundation, there is, interestingly enough, mostly we've had scholars working on it for quite some time, but it has not been remotely close to be been translated as celestial of a much older nature, much older nature. I believe maybe the first or second age of the celestials.
Ashavar completely fails to look nonchalant. Interesting. I wonder if I could, at some point, maybe go and take a look at that.
I don't see why not. It's probably the safest place here in the Isles currently.
Foundation below is the safest place?
Yes. That is a deflector, for lack of a better term, that hides our presence. Ordinarily anyone this close would be in imminent danger to the Omega Sea down here. And so we must be careful. That hides our
Excuse me?
presence. Yes, very much unsafe to be this close. From the base of the foundation to the surface of the rolling clouds, give or take, it's only a few hundred feet, perhaps 300 feet. It's rather remarkable, but dangerous. Which, of course, as you can see, when the foundation went awry and shut off briefly, poor townspeople paid the price.
Oof.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
if we could return real quickly to the person who was here who kind of looked like me.
Yes, Joe Bean?
Yeah.
Colleen.
Yeah, that sounds
Joe
was-
Bean.
That
Bean.
sounds, that
Joe
sounds
Bean.
right. That
Joe
sounds
Bean.
right.
Yes. Well, Joe Bean. Yes, please.
Yeah. How did she go that way?
Oh,
How does she gain access? Is what she's at.
I sent word to the after her fourth visit, she managed to bypass our door somehow, barged in and took me through a rather thorough thrashing, and insisted that I communicate with the Celestial Plateau, and which of course I was I simply had to, so I acquiesced. I mentioned her name. Jo Bean is here. She has she was looking for a book, I believe, a book, and gave some such information to the Celestial. And I got replies simply to give Jo Bean the sending stone and have her directly contact them. So I did. There is a lift that's almost never used. I certainly not used before Jo Bean was here or after. However, she was apparently, whatever discussion she had through the sending stone, she was given permission to rise up to the Celestial Plateau. She was gone for, I think, almost 2 weeks. He looks at Ash. I think before returning, storming through, and headed directly to her ship, where she departed. Yes. What was that, Ash? What was that? There was a book. She didn't give all the details.
Book.
Yeah, the
I assume that she's a book collector. She had a book on her person, which seemed rather strange. Yes, there was a bit of a pouch affixed to her belt, with a number of loops and such, and even some locks on it. And I thought, well, that's rather strange to carry.
And she
around
had
a book.
that before she went out?
Before, yes.
To get another book.
Correct, which she held on the other hip upon her return, storming back through the area before returning to her ship. Yes.
So,
Oh, you've given us a lot of information. Thank you.
Just to be, 100%, like, 1,000,
Yeah.
like 10,000%, like 2 books.
Correct. Yes.
Like,
one of them could have been a journal,
like one,
right?
Right.
but she went up and got the other one.
It would seem, which led me to believe she was a book collector of some sort. Now,
Yeah.
what type of book collector can kick ass the way that she did, and get access? Whatever special.
So she came back with
Dispensation.
2 books, is what you're saying.
Yes.
2 of
yes.
them.
Great.
Mm.
That's wonderful. I'm always happy when a book collector finds more books somewhere.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I
You said
would
she
rather see her
kicked ass.
not give
Did
it to me.
she?
Oh, she kicked my ass. Yes.
Oh,
Uh,
you
Are you
lost the
okay?
fight to her.
You're such
Really?
a
Thoroughly.
Really?
Well, I wasn't anticipating
You
it.
seem so
No, but
powerful.
I thought I was beforehand, and have never held that delusion since.
Oh,
So you're
so
big
you're
for
losing
no
your job
reason?
because you lost the
Oh,
fight.
I've given many people a good thrashing myself.
I bet
now-
you have.
blushes.
Relit.exe isn't working right now.
Bo, why are there 2 books? They're not supposed to be 2 books.
Right? I don't, what do you think? I mean, what if the book is split up? Right? What if it's
think
not
it's
all in
wise to be talking
one
to Bo.
casing, but what if there's more than one piece? I mean, I don't know what would be worse, more pieces or more books.
What did he say, Zia? Oh, hey, Zug, don't mind that. She was in mid-question or whatever. So she started a fight with you, gained access to them up there, and they gave her a book. Are they okay? Have you talked to them recently?
Actually, well, I've talked to them. Certainly have talked to them since she's been here. Yes,
And someone answered?
Yes, I mean, twice. We've been given 2 missions. One we completed successfully. The other, where I believe my career hangs on the completion of this. It was a rather big project to tow over another section of island of some import. I don't know of what yet, but that needs to be towed over. I imagine if I don't complete that, I will find myself either unemployed or thrust over the edge of this island. Yes, so I'm of course.
I'm sure that won't happen.
Oh,
I'm sure they'll be kind and
What did she say? What did she say to them to gain access to their audience?
I don't know. Unfortunately, she used the sending stone as they instructed, so she simply held it and set it in her head. There was nothing to overhear, but whatever she said must have held some value, as they are not they are not ones to simply allow anyone up there, or let alone even
So
hold
she
a conversation.
threatened him, do you think?
Perhaps.
You think she threatened him?
Perhaps, but I don't see perhaps. Not with anything physically, I imagine. It's very difficult. They shoot anything down that gets close. Without getting up there without permission, it's all but impossible. Also, I imagine, she must have had either something they wanted, perhaps, or some previous connection with them, maybe? I've never seen her here before.
Always concerns me.
Well, I will say that it's not long after she left that I was given the mission to tow this island over. Part of the reason I've been so interested in completing it, most recent reason, keeping my life.
Sure.
So what were to happen if you were to just up and leave?
I don't know. I think I'm too old to do so. Everything I have is invested here. And of course I don't want to die. I don't suppose you all are in need of any... If you have a working ship, are you in need of any coin? Or anything perhaps that I can offer where you might be interested in towing an island over here?
All the time we're looking for
Yes,
coin.
you should have said that first.
Oh,
You should have led with that.
Yes.
well,
Yeah.
this is
I don't
such
know
a
about
relief.
the information you gave was very helpful, but this is also good information.
Good. Well,
We tow islands all the time.
Oh, well,
Do we?
I can pay handsomely, of course. There's plenty of
Oh.
funds in the budget currently to go round. There's no one else to pay. But the work is fairly straightforward. The island is not too far away. The towing is simple. Fixing the chain work takes a little bit of work, but Ash can likely watch over that. Man, I can't think of the word. Boop. She can.
Supervise?
Thank you. She can supervise that, I believe, if for it, Ash, and Ash seems to be up for it. You'll have to do a quick assessment of the area where you'll just on the edge of the island where you'll fasten the chains to make sure there's no creatures or anything that will loose them. There should be. The island is not thoroughly explored. It's just a nature. There's nothing sentient living there. It's just an island covered in nature.
Okay.
Okay. Zug, is there any way we can gain audience with the people? Maybe talk to them, plead our case to maybe that we might have information that might.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm sorry. And Zug will hold off for a minute.
Can we have a group huddle real quick?
Oh, I thought you were going to say hug. I was going to
Yes,
really
I was
excited.
excited too.
Oh, soon.
Oh, I'll
soon.
just go over here, Zug says, and he'll
Hey,
just let me
thank
know when
you,
you're...
Zug.
Of course, of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been a great help, Zug. Great help.
We'll try to help you, mate.
Great.
Nice muscles.
Really good.
Thank you.
So,
Okay.
my
Good to see you
fear
here.
of imminent death was like out of here and is now way lower now that we know that Jolene isn't here.
Well, and also the book's not here.
I thought her
And
name
the
was
book
Joe
is not
Beans.
here.
Yes.
Jolene,
Um,
Joe Bean.
So yes. But I don't know if there's more than one book or if their book was
Well,
broken
I
into
think if
pieces and why the people here would have it and why they asked to tow the thing right after and then those things attacked. I don't know, is that maybe I'm reading too much into
kind
it.
of got a little lost in the story. But I think we can be pretty certain that if there was another part of the book here that Jolene would have probably found it. So I think that was the only part here. I mean, Jolene seems like a formidable young woman. I mean, I don't know how young she is, but
Yeah.
and I think if there's something else here that she needed, that she would have got it. So I think that she got what she came for, which is what we came for, which is not what we can get. But yeah.
I think there's more than one tome, because why would you put the infinite universe hanging the balance in one book? It seemed like it'd be like a whole volume of books.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a solid
So it
point.
does.
I mean, I guess if it's like bound to the point where no one else should be able to read it except from your bloodline,
It'd be
But-
like big. It would be contained in one.
but
You know.
multiple books would be
Yeah.
another secondary solution.
I also think we need to talk to them.
So I think like towing the island is chill, and I feel a lot safer here. I just don't know how I feel like the island is connected to Jolene leaving with the second book.
I think she beat the crap out of everybody and took it.
Okay.
Or I wonder if they just gave it up willingly. Maybe they're cowards.
I think they're cowards.
I mean, maybe they knew each other. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. That maybe they, because I mean, didn't you have suspicions that your family was here, Zia, or your dad at least?
Well, yes.
So
Yeah, that's what started this whole game.
Jolene is possibly related to you.
Almost
Then-
certainly.
That would stand to say that if you are correct about thinking that your father might be here, that she has family here too.
Yeah.
And could just be like, hey, I'm family, I need to borrow this book, and they would let her borrow it.
I
Yeah.
think she threatened them to gain access or had some information to get up there and took it,
I
probably.
mean, nothing's more scary than family threatening you. I mean, that's just me.
Yes.
Quick question. You guys don't find it a bit hard to believe that she was able to take down everyone by herself with just brute force? She had to have had something like on her or on them. Maybe
Well, we
like
don't-
blackmail of some sort.
Well, they've never been up there, so we have no idea.
Didn't you
Maybe
see-
there's only one person up there.
Maybe
We
it's
saw
just your
Z-
dad.
We saw Zia go nuclear down in. I mean, if they're of the same ilk, I mean, she could pull that fantastical bullshit out of her, too.
Do you think that she can just keep doing that? Because Zia
I
passed
can't.
out afterwards.
Maybe she's powerful. Maybe
I
she
think she's
has
powerful.
more experience
Okay.
than. I'm not saying that you're inexperienced, Zia. I mean, you're definitely experienced. You're a very formidable person. But
Did you-
maybe Jolene has more, fighting
She took down
experience.
spiders, giant spiders.
Yeah, like-
like
She went,
Yeah.
whoo, and then
yeah,
and everyone
then,
just like, whoa.
and they were bzz, bzz, bzz.
Yeah.
It was like, what?
Whoa.
And I was like,
Okay.
what?
So I think we're all on the same page here
Yes.
in that towing the thingy, maybe it'll make the upper people happy, and then maybe they'll be like, oh, cool, like let's have
can
drinks
talk to
and
them.
Sinister
Yeah.
can play music, and then also Ashavar, there's like ancient celestial here that might be the same ancient celestial from and then
Oh, well, speaking of talking to imaginary things, does your thing tell you anything, Ashvar? Did it give you any insight?
Yeah, your yourself, your other.
Oh.
Thing?
Oh.
I forgot.
Insight into what? There's a lot of things being talked about right now.
Well,
That's
something.
fair.
The one of the things.
Anything.
I guess I'll. I mean, I can communicate with my quarry spirit without like talking aloud, so I'll just kind of shoot a thought up. But hey,
We've tried to tell her to do the same, but
what? You got anything? You've been listening to this? Any feedback would be helpful. Maybe about the celestial stuff.
Let's do a roll. What do I need? Percentile.
all you do that Sinister's like Jolene, Joe Beans. Yeah, that's probably gonna be a good song.
Joe Beans. Joe
Joe
Beans.
Beans. Joe Beans.
That's what I thought too immediately. That song's in my head
Yeah.
every time
Yeah.
I say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You get back a reply. Nothing here. These isles are far too close to the Omega Sea to monitor at all. They're a bit of a mystery.
Out of character. Sorry, I haven't been completely catching up that well. But what's the Omega Sea?
So the Omega a curtain is what divides the planet into. It goes around the equator and then around like a meridian line, divides it into the 4 quadrants. This particular quadrant not only has that Omega curtain, which seals off this quadrant, but the whole bed of it is also this Omega cloud stuff. So they just call it the Omega Sea here.
Oh, okay. So basically, the sky that we're floating above is
the Omega
we're
Sea.
always above the Omega Sea.
It's a dark rolling clouds.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, this the sea, the cloud sea, it's kind of scrambling their receptors.
Oh, cloud sea.
That's odd, considering that the beast that attacked it may have came from a different plane. So it makes. I don't know. I need to go back to school if I didn't burn it down.
That nunnery attacked me first.
Yeah, it did.
Nice.
So, do we want to split up and a couple of us look at the Celestial and other people pull island thingy, or all do island thingy?
No, I don't think we should split up at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm concerned about the infernal, and we got celestial. So maybe there was some
To
sort
be
of.
fair, Ash is a tiefling. I mean, that could just be the part of the notes. We didn't ask.
I'm saying that half. There's half celestials and infernal things going on. We got the celestial people above and the infernal foundation. You don't see any coincidence in that.
It's not that I don't see coincidence. It's just it's not hard to assume that she would write her notes in Infernal.
Well, the foundation is. Oh wait, who was the predecessor? Do we know the predecessor? Was it?
He didn't mention a name, just whoever.
He didn't mention a name.
Yeah, the predecessor could be a tiefling as well. But they don't have to necessarily be a devil or anything like that.
I just, I don't know. Maybe, I guess. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. It is just, I don't know.
It's a valid thought. It just doesn't seem like it correlates to what we're doing right now.
I think for every book that's in Celestial, there's an equal and opposite one in Infernal.
In an effort to not think about things too hard, because brain empty. Let's just pull the island.
I mean, towing an island. It'll be fun.
Towing an island. I mean, it'll be a nice vacation.
And we get paid for it.
Yeah,
Captain. Ultimately, this is your ship.
Let's vote on that. Would be my suggestion, but I will leave Fiazana to open the vote.
I second it. I said let's
I like money.
So I.
And I mean, with the improvements. Oh shit! Sorry. With the improvements that Ash is helping us with the ship too, we could probably pull it more efficiently.
Yeah.
Apparently, we've been running at 40 to 60% power. So I mean, who knows? How fast we could get this done potentially.
Yeah. That's pretty.
Sung?
Oh yes.
Sung?
Yeah.
So any idea if towing this island would is this you wanting the island towed or Ash, or is this the Celestials wanting the island towed?
Those from the Celestial Plateau. It's one of the tasks.
Wonderful.
We've been given.
Okay, thank you. Aye.
Yay. Okay. Nobody's questioning their motivations for wanting this island. We're just
Question the heck out of it, but
I mean, is it going to do any more
wanna
harm
do it.
over here than it was over there?
Well, they only decided to tug this after the visit from Joby.
We can look around the island ourselves before we start towing it.
I think that's the best.
Check it out. Maybe there's some artifacts, maybe another egg. I don't know.
Maybe
a lot
egg.
of things could be there.
There could be some more.
Really, can we talk about bringing more eggs on the ship?
We can talk about it later. You're excited, right, Cassius? You're really excited to have.
I'm quite the opposite.
Egg army.
Excited.
I I can barely contain my excitement.
I just wish we knew what it was. That's
Where I'm from,
killing me right now.
giant eggs have lizards, and we have them as pets, beasts of burden to ride on.
Excited. What if we
Yeah,
find 5 other eggs?
Oh, so we can all have conveyances.
We can all have them on the ship.
Right, and we
And
can
then
all ride around
they
on
they can all have playmates, and
And
we
we
can
call
have
them-
a whole little nursery.
it. And Eenie, Meenie, Miny, and Mo. They're
Yes,
so cute, right?
all of
Cute
them.
names, right?
And
Can we put a lock on the door just in case?
I'm
Just to keep the
excited.
eggs safe.
I agree. I think to keep the eggs safe, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, for sure. To keep them safe.
Absolutely.
Just the eggs.
Children are meant to roam free, Cassius.
In the
Children are
room.
meant to roam
And
free.
In the room with the
it
locked
could be
door.
hatching out any day.
Sure.
It could
We
be
can-
a child.
And we're I mean look, we have shifts for the egg. I read that egg, the in-flight magazine,
Yeah.
where when we were in the other ship that
We can get some
abandoned us.
stuff for it. Some.
Don't you humans
toys.
come from eggs? I thought you.
No.
No?
We
What
should
did
probably
you do
talk about
that?
this another
That's
time.
awesome.
Or cabbages.
I
Or
didn't
cabbage.
come from an egg.
Neither.
Nice.
Or cabbage.
we can have-
No,
we
that
can-
was a myth on my
Minister,
level.
when a
Yes.
mommy and a daddy.
We can have a long talk.
Oh,
about-
you mean that thing? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there's no egg. I mean, well, there's kind of something like
I
an
really think humans are
egg involved, but
It's an egg
There
in
was
the
a
process.
myth. There was a myth about children being hatched from cabbages or
We
eggs.
embrace.
Guys, can we have a heart-to-heart for a second about these myths? Because this has come up
With
multiple
storks
times.
involved?
Why do you guys think these myths are true?
Wait,
Ships don't
what?
eat people.
wait,
All right,
Mister, what did you say?
humans aren't born from eggs.
There was a myth where people were born with the stork involved or out of
Ooh.
a cabbage patch or something.
Right,
No,
right.
no.
I haven't heard of that one.
That must be on my list.
Yeah, I want to hear more about that though. That sounds really cool. But we should probably
will-
answer Zug.
I will
So-
sing it to you as a song.
At this point, can we be very slyly moving over to the lift to head?
Oh, we have to tell Zug that we're accepted.
Yes.
Yeah.
Zug, you sure you're not coming with?
What's that?
We're
Zug, do you
accepting-
want to help us tug?
Oh no, I can't. I really shouldn't leave this the city. No, I'm sorry.
And we're going to be borrowing Ash for an indefinite time.
Doug, you're welcome to come along. If
Yeah,
you,
we got
if you
room.
don't want to stay here.
If you can complete this task, I feel like my job will be secure. He looks to Ash. Ash, I fully support you. Whatever you wish to do. I know that you're not going to have much to do for a very long time. Anyway, so
Oh.
you do whatever you wish. I'll support you and carry on. Yes.
What a good friend.
Yes. Ash, do you play any instruments?
Let's see if she plays any instruments. Okay.
Strikes me as a drummer.
Yeah.
Nice. She sings. She'll say, I sing.
Oh, you do? And then he starts playing an infertile melody.
Whew, that's fine. That's mad. She goes into like a
Yes!
an Adele type voice.
Oh my
singing.
goodness. Yes. I bring fire to the rain.
Yeah, nice. Oh, whew,
That was excellent. That was so good.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness.
I appreciate it. I don't get to do that too frequently, so that was fun.
Well,
Yeah.
you will pass the time at sea with
Oh.
me. Or air. It's not. You don't know seas.
Ooh.
Wild winds, I guess.
I sure appreciate you taking care of this matter for Zug and everything that I've been a little bit worried about. So I think it'll be good with this. Now I know where the island is, and I can direct us over there if you're feeling all right with me. Sounds like you're all right with me coming along to hitch the island on over.
Oh yeah, for sure. Plus, we don't know how to do that. So
Perfect.
You would be a valuable addition to our
yeah.
Have you ever seen any eggs over on that island? Have you been there?
Yes.
No, I haven't been there yet myself.
Okay. Any rumor of eggs over on that island? Because as you know, I study eggs, and
Right.
yeah, definitely an
But
interest of
I'm
mine.
sure if there's some there, you with all your expertise will find them just fine.
Sure. Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Ash, do you have any experience making an arcane lock of some kind?
Certainly.
We want to keep the egg safe in the room.
Wait, what? She
Cassius,
doesn't
Cassius,
know we have
if
an
you
egg.
give me time, I can't do it today, but
Mm-hmm.
on another day, I can set up a alarm system, if you will, if something crosses that threshold.
That actually works. Yeah.
Well, you're
If
really
we were-
planning on getting yourselves
Because
an
I-
egg, huh?
Right. If we find an egg, that's what we'll be doing.
You know, I mean, there's
Right.
plenty
We
of
already
nature.
have one.
And we just
or
want
anything.
security for the egg.
Right, for the egg that we still have yet to
I just-
find.
Right, and we want to keep
We'll
it
talk
safe.
about it.
You take it
Yes.
serious? All right. Well, listen, I'm sure
Yeah.
there's birds and other things. I'm sure there's some
Sure.
eggs over there.
Some are more valuable than others.
Oh, I can't.
And the
can't
bigger
say
the
I-
better. Size matters in this situation, Ash.
And if it has like a stony texture, or maybe gold,
oh,
that's
I'll be sure to, when I'm not, supervising the setup and stuff, I'll keep an eye out. I'll keep an eye out. Don't sounds like you have the matter well in hand.
Oh, and don't forget jewels and magical items.
Oh, certainly. I'm all right. Gee.
It's a lot to keep up with. We're kind of a complicated group, but we
I'll write you a
definitely
list.
appreciate.
And then he just mage hands the most fancy writing and list here, and he signs it, Sinister.
Nice.
And then
Oh, all right. Well, this will be handy. All right, and she tucks it into her pocket of her inside pocket on her robes.
Oh,
it's valuable. I'm
Okay.
telling you, that's worth.
She has she pulls it aside, tuck it in. She has like the inner pec muscle, and
Oh.
before that where you're like ripped and you can see the little the pec muscles beneath the breast. Right. Well, let's go do our thing.
All right. Yeah. All right.
She'll follow you back.
I want to
the
know
ship.
if Ashabel is looking physically how is Ashabel physically responding to I mean, I know you said that she finds her hot, but is she acting like she's fawning over Ash or no?
Very, very timidly, yes.
Okay, can I make a perception check to see if I notice?
I don't see why not. Yeah, and I guess if you're trying to hide it at all, Ashavar, make a sleight
Oh,
of
no.
hand. No? Okay.
I love how Breeless is trying to be
Don't do it.
matchmaker of the ship.
She's just like Sinister has this huge personality, and she's just like, oh, I'm just over here. Oh,
It's
she's
only a
cute.
6, so I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Okay, yeah. Other things are taking up your
Yeah.
interest currently.
Yeah.
All the talk of eggs. You're
I think
imagining
the
5 more
phrase
eggs.
is quietly pining.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yearning, if you will.
Yeah.
I would turn to Zug to say, because I see Ashavar, like, do you know where we can get? Is there a music shop in the vicinity before we go back to the ship that we could possibly get a meal?
Well, if there is one to be down in the mill, maybe there's mostly researchers doing a lot of research, but everyone has some downtime, right? So maybe I don't know that there's a store for it, but maybe in someone's home.
Thank you, Sinister.
I will. It saves me the time to try to make one. Do you know how hard it is to get cactus? The right kind of wood. The rosin. I mean, we'll go on the island. I'll look out for materials, but I was trying to save time.
We'll keep our eyes open.
Yes, Bing, I want to play with you. I
Yeah.
mean, musically. I mean, James,
Oh yeah. It needed a riff after you said that. Yeah.
yes.
Awesome. So Ash leads you down the stairs, little tiefling tail kind of wisping behind her like a kitty cat. As she goes down all the spiral stairs to the lowest level. You have to go back on that stupid disc to get back down to the mill. So you traverse that distance on the little lotus flower disc, making it back down and heading back over to the ship. Pouring rain. There's some thunder rumbling in the distance. You dodge through the rain as best you can, under awnings and stuff on the street of the buildings there, back to the docks where your ship awaits you.
Right.
So Ash, as far as towing the ship goes, and we'll walk and talk as we're like going into the ship. As far as like towing the ship goes, like what special equipment will we need? Because I don't think we have it.
Oh, Rat, we have some, if you have any other crew, I mean, we can probably, if you have any strong crew outside of, I know a few of you are clearly very strong individuals, but if we can have maybe like 4 or 5 strong and do some really heavy chain.
All right, we're gonna need Vic for sure. He's probably gonna be our anchor, 1,000%. I'll go out there. Does anybody else? Do we have any other takers?
No, but I can inspire you to hard labor. Boom. And whoever else.
Nice.
I think I can find Vic and we can come up.
I can lift some stuff.
All right. All right. I like the spirit. Liazano?
I can attempt to.
Liazano, you're strong. You got this.
I'm going to give Breela some inspiration.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you, Sinister.
It's like,
that was
we gotta
lovely.
we got to take care of little dude.
We do. We really do. It needs. Yes, correct.
Nurturing.
Yeah, let's give it all the nurturing we can, so it likes us when it's hatched.
Oh, it's totally going to. I think the scratches told me that.
Oh, we're gonna sing infernal babies music.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
All right, so Zia, yep, you're able to go down and get Vic. He, of course, gladly comes up with you, locks the door to the egg room, and
We look at my egg.
I'm gonna go ahead and take some rest, and I can change my spell
okay.
along. I believe that's a level 1 spell. I think.
Nice. Okay. Sounds good. So you go ahead and start that, and Ash shows everyone over to one of the storage sheds at the docks here, and there are some huge links of chain. They're bound 4 at a time. Each single link is probably a little thicker than like Breela's head, and probably about half her height each link. And they're connected 5 at a time. And each 5th one has like a latch to latch into the next section. If everyone that is trying to carry these can roll a strength check, I can kind of match up who needs to do what to make happen. I'm going to have Vic do his.
I've inspired Liazana,
Okay.
Breela, and I guess.
And I'm probably gonna
Cash.
need it too.
That's a D4.
Is that a
Yes,
D4?
It
Oh,
is
sweet.
a D4 until
Okay.
next level, I think.
Let me roll a D4 with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use it.
Yeah, same. Oh fuck yeah! Dirty 20 with the D4.
Nice.
Mine was a 16 without the D4.
Oh, okay.
You could hold on to it if you want.
Yes.
I think it lasts 10 minutes, so you might want to.
I'll go ahead and
Basically
use
an
it.
hour.
It only
it
added
lasts
a
for an hour.
1, so
Okay.
17. I've already rolled it.
It's only an
So-
hour in D&D.
Oh, okay.
Got
Liazana?
a dirty 20 as well.
Ooh.
After the D4.
Okay.
Same. Yeah.
That's with the -1, so
Wow.
What? So
You got
did
a
you roll?
-1 too?
Did you roll a 17?
yeah.
Me too. I rolled
Nice.
a 17 with the D4.
Wow.
Zia, are you going to be helping carry chains too or no?
Yes, I'm really sorry. I was going over some of my notes. So we're doing
No,
a
go for it,
strength check with a.
Strength check, yep. In fact, let me make it an athletics check. So if anyone has
Okay.
any benefit to athletics, you can add that.
Okay, cool.
Change mine to a 21.
So we're just doing with a D20 and a D4.
No, I can only inspire. Well, let me see if I can do another one.
Don't worry about it.
I can only do 3.
Okay, I only got an
I
11.
only
So.
do 3.
Okay.
And I'm sorry that was a D6, but you guys did all right.
Nice.
Sorry,
I forgot it went up.
Too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see.
I also got a 22 if it was a D6 then.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
nice. All right.
Oh wait, it was a D6.
Yeah.
Oh, good. All right.
I forgot it went up at level 3.
It is
gotcha.
10 minutes, too. Once within the next 10 minutes, you can roll the dice and add it
Gotcha.
to ability checks, attack rolls, or saving throws. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good. So D6. Excellent. Zia, you notice Breelith is trying to hoist one of these 5 links of this chain and is just struggling. She needs a hand. So with your roll, you'd be able to assist her, like get one side, one end.
Okay, thank you. It's together on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Nice.
You guys are doing good.
Hey, this is
Dude,
just
so
like the
good.
lover.
Oh. You guys are way stronger than me.
Point
Awesome.
Ashavar casts minor illusion to put a sound of an encouraging song in the air.
Nice.
I want to be the very best.
No chain lifter was before.
I really
Eye
hope we
of
don't
the
pick up any more
tiger.
Pokemon eggs on this island.
Oh shit!
I
No.
don't think my heart can
Pokemon
handle
Island.
another-
It's like a Togepi
It's a
or
Weedle.
something.
That'd be fine.
We have an Ash. We have an Ash here with us.
Oh, you're right.
We
The
do.
scene is set.
Does that make Breelith technically Misty?
Oh, Ashamar would be Misty probably.
Brock was the one who was good with eggs, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
he
yeah.
was.
Brock.
Or breeding, like Pokemon.
Oh, that means
breeding.
Breelith would be Brock.
I'm totally a Brock.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
Total
about
Brock.
Pokemon.
Total Brock.
Okay, so we got the chain. We got the chain.
Yes.
Yep.
I'm just stuck now on.
We're pulling. Me and Z are pulling together. Our hands touching.
Aw. The two of you, between the two of you are able to lift that one. Cassius, you are, it's difficult, but you are able to kind of wrap it up over your shoulders so they're dangling in front of you. You're able to get a single batch of 5 there in one go.
Ooh, nice.
And Liazana, with your, it was also,
Me too.
okay, yes, you were also able to hoist this up and over and get one. There's only one more needed, which Vic kind of throws over his shoulder and follows you with his roll. He has a lot
Everybody's
of
like,
You can do it. You can do it.
you guys got this.
You got it.
awesome.
So good.
There's some other equipment, bolts and other things that go down into the island and use magic to kind of form a net around it, basically, and some other stuff that gets loaded on board. But it's tricky because it's slick. It's in the rain. It's cold, driving rain, and it's work. It's work. But after, say, 40, 50 minutes of going back and forth and lugging everything you need, you have the ship loaded, and you are ready to go to the island. Ash knowing where it is.
All right, guys. I think we'll pile in. And I guess we hook this up to an island. I don't know how we're gonna do that, but it'll be interesting.
I mean, how hard could it be? I have no idea.
Neither do I.
Oh, it shouldn't be that. I mean, it's not. It takes some time. That's all. Just take some
It's
time.
like riding a tortoise. Once you do it,
Hey.
you never kill the tortoise a second time.
Right.
Well, all right.
What is this with tortoises? I don't understand.
All right, let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Breelith is going to slip off by herself at some point because we're still in the ship, right? We're about ready to drive to the island or boat or whatever. Fly. She'll step off and she'll update her patron on what the information that she found. Out.
Oh,
So
okay.
I will. Let's see here. So she's doing this in her bedroom with the door closed.
Can I notice that? Like her leaving? Like take a mental note?
What's your passive perception, Sinister? And then Breelith, you can roll a stealth check against it.
My is 12.
No, she beat it. I don't even have to look. I rolled a 2.
Oh,
so
no. Yes,
I know
you noticed
herself
it, yeah.
is not yet. It's a +0.
So he's not going to say anything, but he's gonna tell Rhodey right now.
Nice.
Yeah, so when she's in her room and closes the door. Hey, book could be in volumes. Jolene has the book, and pretty sure that friend is related to Jolene. We'll try to find Bug. So she'll send that message and then start heading back to the group.
Okay. All right. You feel the ship engage, Breelith, as you're sending that message out. It engages and starts flying up. It's maybe a 15-minute flight from here to where this island is. This island, not as close to the Omega Sea down below as Simhazy Isles are, thankfully. But it's still moderately close. It is smaller than your island of Macaw. It's not a huge island. Maybe only 3/4 of a mile from one end to the other. That's it. So maybe about half the size. I think that puts it about half the size of Macaw. But it's effectively just one large plateau, some minor hills and such on it, but otherwise a plateau with a lot of trees, a lot of wood, a lot of foliage and other things like that here on this island. Ash, all right. Well, I think that we want to fly around. Can we take a loop? She says, to Kip and Breelith flying and all, doing any of the steering. Can we take just a loop around? Now, if we can find one on the edge of the island that's a little more upright or sheer than the others, that's where we want to anchor.
Sure.
All right. And you do, and you find said side that's nice and vertically sheer there. All right. Well, we'll bring the ship in, sort of dock just above or next to that, and we can get underway. These anchors. Where's Vic? Right? And she'll and he'll nod. Right. So there's some digging that needs to be done, and then some hammering to get these anchors down into the ground. I think you might be best suited for that if you're up for it. Gives another nod. And the rest of us, we can start fixing these chains one by one and setting up some of the magic that'll sort of cast a net over this the base of this island, and it'll drag it behind us so it doesn't just tear out that whole section of ground or anything.
Sure. Yeah.
But first, we should probably hop on that island and just give it a look-see, at least that one area. It sounded like you were all talking about looking for eggs and taking a whole gander over this whole island in the larger search. We want to do that.
Good to survey the area
Just
too.
a quick
Sure.
look-see.
Well, we want to do that before we start setting up. Once we set up, we're on a time limit before that magic is exhausted.
Sure.
And we'll be able to
Sounds
Do you think those abominations would pop up on this island? Or have you seen them up here this far?
I have not seen them. We seem to be a good distance. Not like taunting them being that close down there. From our research at an altitude such as this, they only sparingly. Some of the lesser creatures, like those demons you mentioned, or some bearded devils and some other critters come out of there.
Yeah,
We fought a couple of those.
Now they're the only ones that kind of come up out this far. It's just being right on top of it over there that I think taunts them or something. We're not really sure. So we should be fine. But once we start engaging these things, the magic kicks in and then we're on a time limit. So let's do our search and assessment of the island first. Then we'll get to work on these chains.
Sounds
All right,
good.
sounds like a plan, Ash.
All right.
I put Cassius to the side and say, after we get off this island, we should both go to the map room and see if this isle appears on the map.
That's an excellent idea, actually. Yeah, we need to. Yeah, that's a good idea. See if this. I wonder if the island will like move when we move it like on the map too.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm full of good ideas sometimes.
That was actually a fantastic idea.
It was almost inspired.
I see what you did there.
Fantastic. Excuse me. All right. Ooh, okay. So you do disembark. Which of the crew would you like to go with you, if any? Ash has kind of volunteered herself.
Vic for sure.
Okay.
I think our navigator, Kip, maybe.
Okay.
Kip doesn't get off the ship very much, huh?
No.
No,
We leave the key person that probably, yeah.
Yeah, we should probably take it.
The Ninja Turtle with built-in armor defense.
Nice. Yep. Okay, so Kip, Vic, and Ash. Now, of course, you can ask Ash to stay, and she maybe will if you want her to. But if you want her, she's offered to come with you.
That would be great.
Oh, all right.
Your help will be invaluable because we do not know what we're doing.
Oh, so, well,
We're gonna need your help a lot, actually, Ash. We're gonna be pretty hard.
all right.
Is that okay?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I'm happy. What you've given me is an opportunity of a lifetime to take a look at this here ship. Oh, so right. Let's get underway. There's sort of a grid pattern we can do to kind of navigate out this, map out this here island. Keep an eye out for, and she pulls out for eggs, for treasure or magical anything
Wine.
magical. Wine. And we'll keep an eye out for these, and folds it and puts it back in her pocket. Let's head on.
Oh,
out.
I should have added one.
Oh.
The party, right? We're always looking for the party.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah.
Dan, I picked you or pinged you. My bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You're stuck on Pokemon. Dan,
know.
I choose you.
I choose you. Yeah. I almost threw a Pokeball at you.
Nice. Awesome. So the ship hovers down and locks its elevation in place. Gangplank goes down and sets down on the edge of the island, about 10-12 feet in from the edge of the island. And the crew members and you, the crew members you've selected, as well as all of you, head down the gangplank into this very densely wooded island. It's dark and has a very spooky vibe to it. There's almost like a thin mist that kind of filters through the trees. You see some of the...
Kind of reminds me of home.
Oh, nice. You hear like an owl hoo hoo in the distance. Some thunder rumbles overhead, and I think that's where we'll end tonight's session.
Nice.
We're almost there. I'd hate to get into something and then have to stop, or like
Yes.
Sure.
So neat.
Movie Island.
Cliffhanger.
Woo! Awesome.
We found some new people.
We did.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm very excited.
I don't want to speak too soon, but I think Ash will be a welcome addition, especially if she's giving the ship tune-ups. We need that.
Definitely.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure Ash and Bar will definitely agree.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, that's fantastic.
We're gonna try our damnedest to convince her to stay Ashmore. Don't you worry.
Aw.
Oh, we're gonna have a band. It's gonna be the viola, the guitar, the singing. Now we need
Yep.
Charlie the drummer. Yes.
Yep.
I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, so I will bring up our schedule here. As you can see, just hang on, let me bring this other thing up. Patreon schedule. As you can see, we have a boatload of D&D throughout the week, especially in this 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. time slot, Eastern. As you can see in the schedule, we also have a Saturday evening, just before the stream, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern D&D stream. Tower of Dreams, a lot of fun. Every Tuesday, 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern, you can catch Dungeon Craft with Steph and Vic, where they paint minis and do tile work and some other fun, exciting things there for their campaigns. Every Friday from noon to 3 p.m. Eastern, you can catch Mad Art with Steph, as there's... if you're not already a member of the Discord, please consider joining. We do a boatload of fun stuff. And in addition to that, you can vote there. You can put in requests for fan art from across the different campaigns, and Steph will put it into a thing to be voted upon. And yeah, lots of fun. And then Sunday afternoon, 2 to 5 p.m. Eastern, we have Madbird Plays Board Games, hosted by Vic. Very super chill, tabletop simulators used to play a variety of games with a variety of people. Yeah, that's about it. That's on hiatus for a little bit due to some hardware issues, but we're getting that sorted. We recently started a Patreon last month. If you support us here, then we would... I would suggest that if you want to consider supporting us on Patreon instead of Twitch, well, we love Twitch and we love your support. Patreon lets us give you a little more. You still get your subscriber die, but you get fun DM blog posts and some other stuff just at the $5 here, and a little more if it goes to us. Yeah, fun. So I think that with that, we're going to raid our wonderful friends over at Blackwater D&D. Players, amazing. So bravo, players.
Thank you, Dan.
Such a fun night. Oh, and puppy.
Oh yeah, it was a great session.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the doggy.
And viewers too, thank you so much for hanging out with us. You lighten everything up. Oh, Jay, I just saw you in chat. We'll get you some goodies there shortly. Please give a call Madbird Raid when we get over to Blackwater D&D. We'll catch you all soon. Have a great night. Bye, everyone.